Regular season play has come to a close. Over the last 8 weeks, we saw a crazy amount of hype competition from some of the best collegiate esports has to offer. And as usual, you guys have me one last time to break it all down and to show you guys what we thought were some of the top plays this week. And honestly, guys, I don't have much more to say. Just check it out because I think we've got some really incredible clips here. Let's take a look. In our opening clip, it's Professor Dementium with a straight boot off the stage to kick things off for Bloomfield.
Got himself one, kick back off stage though. Able to air dodge is going to be that Bowser. He'll do it again and he'll also bring himself that down smash so he gets quickly back before that Falcon's able to take any sort of advantage. But well, you're gone. The spikes come through. It's a clean kick to wrap things up, and well, he's got one. He's got one stock for his troubles.
Up next, the duel of Donkers and Robeast have some things to say with this beautiful 1-2 combo to close the door on Albany.
Get the intersection, go straight up in the air for Robeast, who's going to work Central Missouri into the offense. Flip reset's a good one. The pass down to Donkers, and he finds the net. A 3-goal deficit in Game 3.
I gotta say, Curtis, it seems like after these two teams came out of Game 2, right? Again.
In our next play, who needs to be able to see your enemy when you can just take a educated guess?
Great, 1-for-1 over towards Catwalk. There's still more where that came from. Myranium is next up, and he will take a couple too many fights. Solsta as well is going to be able to take a couple of fights, winning them both. It's a 1v3, and Novacorium won't be able to do anything. Johnson, Wales.
At number 5, it's Saltonics with this huge flank onto Cole College to secure Temple of Anubis for his team.
Right now, it's got to be just destroying it straight up. Maybe with the Coalescence, maybe the Supercharger, but that Riptire could just immediately rip through.
Here's that Riptire. It does move Joker, but it could have been a catastrophic play. Now Nightbolt is pulled all the way off the point, and that's an easy one. Tonic's coming in with a triple off of that crucial rocket barrage, and that is all of them off the point.
Now it's down to Joker just to get the touch onto the point. Tracer.
Coming back to the Bloomfield versus Keen matchup, it was a clutch finish from Zenipu as he finishes off Brandon without dropping a single stock.
No, one more lease on life. Lease on life indeed for Brandon. Looking to hold the ledge, but a recovery from Zenipu. He says second time's the charm. He'll send him to the moon, and once again, Zenipu will not drop a stock.
Last packing our way into the number 2 spot though, it's a 4K from Butter to cement the lead for Providence College.
Back roads around the high ground to try and avoid that as much as possible.
Oh my absolute days! Here was me looking for that Transcendence to counteract the grab, and no, it was just a big fat go button. In comes the pulse bomb, down goes SUNY Poly Wildcats.
Phil, I can't remember the last time I've seen...
Last packing our way into the number 2 spot though, it's a 4K from Butter to cement the lead for Providence College.
Not much more. That tap can go a long way in the latter half, right? Now Retna bringing out that Stimmy, trying to get the opportunity to move the team in forward. Okay, there's that showstopper I was thinking about. It looks like D-Nuns is going to have that show stopped. Sal, not particularly far behind, a 4v2. But really starting to wake up here on the race.
Yeah, wow, so impressive. And 4K there, just going straight through the entire team like a bulldozer. Will not stop until all are taken down.
And in our top play from the last week of regular season play, it is a nail-biter last-second goal that will keep you guessing until the very end.
That leaves their own open, a little bit of high pass, you angle it in, but it's just off the top of the goalpost.
Top of the goalpost coming in deep. Matrix able to find something here. The demolition comes through. 7 seconds left for a true game win, but in overtime feeling incredibly likely. But tied out of a wide open goal. No! No! Orbital, the waffle iron has been flipped, and Farmingdale finds themselves up 4-3. 2 seconds left on the clock. The only hope for Louisville to win this out is with a kickoff goal. They cannot make a single mistake.
Hello friends and welcome to the ECAC week number 2 here on Esports U2. Myself, I'm Relic, and I am joined by the wonderful Trippin. Of course, the pretty pictures brought to you today by Professor Layton. But Trippin, you're the one who can speak. Layton can't, so I'll ask how you are doing. How are you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm really happy to be here with the ECAC. I think first time on one of these broadcasts, which is going to make it even more fun to see what the teams in this conference are going to have to offer. Again, collegiate level Rocket League play, just the second week of a young season. There's a lot of time left to make those moves when they get to that point. But Relic, Relic, one of these times I'm going to get your name right. How are you feeling today? I mean, if you're hosting, usually no one ever asks you, right? What's up with you?
Well, first of all, I changed my name specifically to be more simple to say, and yet people somehow managed to be like, oh, it's the old name, and how... I'm doing all right. And actually, I need to redress the balance. Layton's doing great as well. Don't you worry. I did ask him before the show. But yeah, I'm doing great. I'm super excited. We're bringing all of you out there 2 best of 7s today with varying teams of various intrigue. You can see up the top there, actually, that we have a bit of a surprise, or not surprise, I guess, a little bit of a tease as to what teams we're going to be looking at. We're looking at Cali State University, Monterey Bay. We're looking at Keene University, and Trippin, one of these teams had a great first week. And one of these teams, not so much.
Yeah, that's exactly how it went. I mean, the tale of 2 perfect opposites here. We have the Otters coming in 1-0 with their 4-0 sweep over SVSU Rocket League Red. And Keene, on the other hand, got swept by SFU RL White. So both these teams looking, to build on what happened last week in one way, shape, or form. Otters, obviously, they just want to keep rolling, right? Once you sweep a team, you want to just keep sweeping. You want to get those easy wins in there in these best of 7s. Keene, on the other hand, they want to build on getting swept. They want, any victory for Keene this week is a building block, is a good step going forward just to get off that 0-4 schneid. But some tough competition, certainly when the team is riding as high as the Otters are.
We might have some Spock single eyebrow raises, I think, from a bit of a dichotomy, really, where we're talking about the Otters. Yes, I did say correctly, California State, Monterey Bay.
Yes.
But we're in the East Coast.
Yes.
Athletic Conference.
Yes.
Honestly, look, I'm just a bloke from the other side of the pond, Trippin. I'm not going to ask questions if you don't.
Hey, I'm not going to either. I think it's a road trip that may have gone bad, but either way, we're getting into game number 1 here. See on your screen, a shot coming in from Keene University's Identity. That one will go wide initially. They're going to just get things moving right along very quickly. Relic coming in with those quick shots. Some more pressure here in front of the orange net. That one's in for Garrett.
It's not just an early birthday save, it's an early birthday goal for the birthday boy. Garrett's 46. We hope you had a wonderful day. Certainly a great way to start off your evening. 1-0 to the Otters, and not even 30 seconds past. Beautiful play.
Love to see that quick goal, and as you mentioned, happy birthday to them. An answer from Keene as they win the kickoff into the corner. They look for a pass out as well. This one across the face of the net, but JCU not going to be able to get there in time. The ball was cleared out downfield. Here comes Cali State with the dunk on Indemnity. Struggling to get that ball out of their own corner. It's going to be rough for a bit. Finally, JCU with clear into the corner.
Apparently it's called Keene University, and you'll have to you'll have to forgive us. For me personally, I've never seen that arrangement and it not be called Keene, so I will absolve myself of any responsibility, but we'll definitely call it Keene from now on. We'll definitely call that as it is. A decent clearance, but not decent enough. A free shot rattles the backboard there. It's another shot, rattles the backboard, and away it goes. And a nice, oh my word, this is actually going to roll in! What? How? And why, Trippin?
I mean, this is one of those situations where if your third is just not in the right position, you're going to struggle a little bit on those counterattacks. But oddly enough, the third was in a pretty good spot. Just unfortunately did not have the mechanics to lay it down and actually make that save. And now we're tied up 1-1, and definitely looking a little bit better here for Keene.
Named after a political group. Well, I'm certainly interested in that. Actually, part political, part philosophical major myself, so I always love learning new things. And what I'm learning about both of these players is it doesn't really matter about the record from week number 1. Both look pretty confident, both eager to get more goals on the board. That rattles the crossbar. That goes underneath the crossbar. Indemnity and Kane 2-1.
Initially a little bit nervous here about the shot. The touch from Aftershock quite poor off of the backboard. The initial shot was missed, but Indemnity happy to come in and play cleanup crew and get Kane that 2-1 lead as we move into the kickoff here. Barely 90 seconds into game number 1. We've already got 2-1. Make it 3-1 already. It's JCU with a third goal.
Oh, defense. Calling up the defense. Where did you go? We can see Aftershock going for, oh, that's a really aggressive kickoff. Looking back at this Otters play here. Both players, both anchor players, not even looking back, only looking forward, going for both 100 mid boosts. If it works, you're in a great position. If it doesn't, sorry to spell it out for you, it's not. And that is why Kane now holds themselves a 2-goal advantage, 3-1 in total. We haven't even hit the 3-minute mark, so still plenty of time to either score more or to see the Otters, to see Monterey Bay head back into this. They're going to surge forward with an attack here, almost stumbling over each other, however, on the left wing. The clearance, pretty decent, infield, but they're in the right place. Kane University, the counter-attack, that goes wide, and Garrett's just watches briefers. That's a lovely demo, and forces that back into blue possession.
You know, I really hate to pick on one particular player, but Aftershock is having a very, very rough game up to this point. A couple of touches that they have had have been perfect passes to Kane, and then right there also had a back pass that nearly went awry as well as the ball is boomed off the back wall here for Kane. Garrett going volleyball style over the top. Back and forth between the two. Now Aftershock chasing it downfield in the right corner off the back wall in front of the net for Red Blur. And make a very easy routine save here as we approach the 2-minute mark remaining. Kane still holding on to a 2-goal lead.
Yeah, but Monterey Bay putting together some nice passing plays. They've given up possession now. This going to hit the backboard. And ultimately, as long as they continue to try and find their teammates, the chances will come. And with chances, statistically speaking, you should get goals. That almost won, a little bit too far left to be on target. There was someone in the way already, but I'm liking these clearances from the Otters. Looking much better, less than 2 minutes. 2 goals, not hard to find. Oh, it's another one that rattles the post. And as I said earlier, you create chance after chance. Eventually, you will find that breakthrough goal. It's only 1 away now from a tie game.
Yeah, that's really what I was hoping for. Just so many great opportunities here for Monterey Bay and not quite able to get the job done. Can't quite get that goal to go in. Finally, they sneak one in after just throwing shot after shot at the Kane net. Now only down by 1 with 1 minute and 40 seconds here to go. And of course, fans, this is only game number 1, and they're already making it awfully interesting. So make sure you guys get yourselves comfortable for the rest of this game. 90 seconds left on the clock. That shot is on target from JCU. Kane extends the lead back to 2.
Or is he a count? Because apparently he's called Juku. Oh, that's just a poor miss off the backboard, however, from Garrett. Difficult, certainly, to read. And when you do miss those, you look a little bit silly, but difficult in the first place. Ultimately, a great read from Kane University. Lots of players around to try and get a shot away on target. They re-establish that 2-point lead. And with 80 seconds left on the clock, they're looking good value.
It's going to be on the side wall here. Coming across is Indemnity, looking to beat Aftershock. Aftershock will get the touch. They'll drop it down. It's Calflick. Still keep floating. Finally cleared off the backboard, right out to midfield and denied here from Kane. A great 50 at midfield and bounce down in front of Juku. They're going to slot this one all the way across. Not going to find anyone to shoot that one. Garrett's touch will come right back out to midfield. Ball moving side to side quite a bit. Finally starting to go in favor here of Monterey Bay. Eventually, it'll just be boomed from Kane all the way back across, and solid defense from them.
Running out of time, but enough to score 1. And if you can score 1 with a kickoff situation, 5-10 seconds to go, you're burning. Halflick hits woodwork again, and the Otters, I mean, I'm pretty sure they'd rather themselves be beavers at this point, because the woodwork certainly proving to be their biggest nemesis here in game number 1. That's a miss. Halflick double tap. Oh, what a read. What a punishment. And what did I say? Kickoff scenario incoming.
A finally we see something go well off of the backboard for this squad. So many times, Relic, we have just seen time after time again, as you mentioned, Woodward getting absolutely beat down by the shots from Monterey Bay. Finally, they're able to get one to go in on that double tap. 15 seconds left to go. They've got control of the ball as well, looking to make up one. There's a cross all the way. It's going to be Aftershock to take the lead on the last offensive attack. They'll float this one in front of the net. Going up is Cal. Will they have the touch? No, they can't make it. Now Garrett has to be a little bit more aggressive here. Falling all the way back, 0 seconds. It'll hit the ground. And Kane going to take game number 1.
We should warn you, the Professor Layton curse, of course, if you've just joined us, our producer for today, Professor Layton, the Layton curse is that it always goes to game 7, and it's a 7-goal thriller there in game number 1, and Calflick is going to be wanting to play those final few seconds back. They shouldn't, honestly. That is such a cute finish if he manages to make connection with it. And even if he does make connection, the angle of shot that he had to perform there, so acute. I doubt that even some pros would have been able to hit that one on target. But hey, look, great first game from both teams. Mistakes here and there, sure, but a lot to be positive about, of course. Kane University walking out with the win, just one step ahead throughout that mid-game, and the Otters looking to correct that as we head into game number 2.
Yeah, of course, the best part about a best-of-7 series is that first game a lot of times doesn't really matter too much. If you get the momentum from a victory, that's awesome. But if you end up dropping that first game, especially only by 1 goal, there is plenty of time to get back into the series. It's not like a best-of-5 where if you lose that first one, at that second game, there's a lot of pressure on you to make sure you win that game and you don't get stuck in a situation where you're already on match point. There's a little bit more time in the best-of-7 to make up for it. But on the flip side of this one, though, Kane now getting their first win on the season. Monterey Bay getting their first loss on the season. Both teams in unfamiliar territory. How do they respond? Well, Garrett gets 2 people to miss with his Jedi mind powers, and it's going to be CSUM 1 and Kane 0.
This is not the shot you're looking for. And a nice ballerina display there as well in front of the ball. Unfortunately, no one hits it. No one finds the money. And that's 1-0 Monterey Bay. Good start. Now we'll see whether they can continue this sort of momentum, because this is certainly the form that we were seeing from them in the final couple of minutes of game number 1. That's it. Almost an instant response. Calflick putting up a big save. Kane back on the scene here, a miss with the infield pass. Indemnity got that 100 boost. Nice horse kick there to bring it back into a dangerous zone for his team. Juku, that's going to fall back to the midfield line. Red Blur forced back himself here, able to win the challenge. It goes into dangerous territory for Kane University. Calflick, a miscontrol and a clearance ultimately.
It's going to be Indemnity in the corner, passing out in front of the net. Garrett has to make a touch here, and they do to get it over 1. The last one, Injuku coming back, able to get enough of a 50, but the ball moving side to side is going to give Garrett an opportunity, and they will unfortunately not be able to connect with the goal. Aftershock continuing it, looking to get this one back pass. Great control on the play. That's a play in Rocket League I personally absolutely love. You don't always have to keep moving the ball in the right direction in terms of where the opponent's goal is. You just got to make sure you're able to find your teammates. Does not work out 100% in their favor, however. We go through another minute of Rocket League gameplay. Still the same score.
Yeah, it's your solo queue strategy, isn't it? Where you either look awesome or just shoot the ball at the net. There's no thinking beyond that, just doing. And actually, it does pay sometimes to look around you, to communicate, to see, well, maybe the best shot isn't going to arrive here, even when I'm the closest to net. I've got a teammate on the way. Let's go backwards. Let's set up something better. That's a missed touch from Indemnity. And Juku in the way to be able to put up the save. Aftershock, no relation to the shock of previous Sonic's fame, of course. And certainly not the afters of Sonic's fame either. Not able to do much there. Another shot goes on target for this blue net. Another save coming through from Calflick. And a lot less goals in this one, Trippin. But currently, the only score that matters for the Otters is that it's theirs. You know, they've got one on the board. But Kane University continuing to ramp up this pressure. And that's another shot on target. Another save. Otters defense holding.
You know, Kane kind of taking the approach from Monterey Bay in the last game. Just shoot the ball as many times as possible. And now it's going to be Monterey Bay is putting a couple of shots on target. But the defense holds strong here for Kane. They look to find a game-tying goal, and they're not going to be able to do it on their own back half. Need to get a clear here, and they do. At least out to midfield. Aftershock will knock it down. Solid control of the ball. Looking for a teammate at midfield and finds them. It's Indemnity on the backboard. That touch leaking out to midfield. Straight up, straight back down. Cal is there. Oh, whiffy. It's Aftershock versus Indemnity. Indemnity's going to win it. Garrett continuing that pressure. It's still around on the back wall, and finally the pressure can be released.
Massive let off for Kane. That was probably game. Had the Otters taken their chances. And Aftershock, probably the biggest head in hands moment of all, just needed a bit of power. But that's it. That's a lovely flick. And that is surely redemption for Aftershock. Finally, the 2-0 lead they've well deserved.
It's finally going in for them. And they've just had so many great opportunities, really, to actually get a goal scored and haven't been able to find it, at least in this game. They got to get this victory to shore up the series at 1 apiece, and that is certainly a good way to start doing it. We've seen that Kane is able to score when they need to. It's going to be a little bit better offensively. The double tap is not going to go. Garrett's going to get challenged. That one will go wide as we enter the final 60 seconds of game number 2.
Calfleck, that's another win, and that's on a plate for Garrett. 3-0, and possibly the gain sewn up.
This is a great overall play, and just not a whole lot that can be done defensively here from Kane. We see a great play by Monterey Bay to extend the lead to 3, and now with only 60 seconds left, there's not a whole lot of opportunity here for Kane. I've seen it done before. I've seen 3 goals in less than a minute. Hell, I've seen 3 goals in less than probably 15 seconds. It's just a matter of whether or not Kane is going to have the wherewithal to be able to make that happen. And at least so far, the way that game number 2 has gone, I don't think that they are going to be happy with the results.
It's a question of how big's your bottle, isn't it? 125 milliliters or a full 2 liter? We'll wait and see as there's 40 seconds remaining on this one. Another save away from Garrett, and a shout out to the defense of the Otters on this particular occasion. Really stout, really strong, great rotations in their own third. Garrett, that's a lovely pass. That's a great passing play. Shot on target, goal. You can ask questions of the defense, Trippin, but you cannot deny pretty.
The give, the go, the give back, and Calflick is right there. And the placement is very good as well on that near post. That's an incredibly difficult shot to make. It's a really easy to hit that ball behind all the defenders, but to hit it in front of them and to get that slot going the other direction is just a thing of beauty there for Calflick. And Monterey Bay showing that first game, a little bit of a fluke, just kind of giving one to Kane. And now with 15 seconds left to go, this one is most certainly in the bag, and we'll move on with another great save in front of the net, continuing to deny Kane an opportunity to score a goal. We will move on into game number 3 of this series, tied up at 1 apiece.
It's a space race, but not the kind you're thinking of. It's not the US versus Russia. It's more Kane University versus Monterey Bay. And the space that we're talking about is the midfield. And once you get to that final third, the Otters able to dominate the midfield. So many great passing opportunities, leading to a lot of chance creation, leading to 4 goals. That's now 7 in total for the Orange team. Looking at Kane University, a lot of space left open at the back, allowing their opposition to move not necessarily at will, but a lot more freely than what they were seeing in their final third. Really struggling with chances, and a lot of their good options being snuffed out by this awesome Monterey Bay defense. To see them not score a single goal is pretty shocking, I would say, for all of us, given that first game. It's all about how they can now adapt from here on out to try and redress the balance.
Yeah, it really wasn't, Kane's fault that they didn't get any goals scored in that last game. It was just the defense from Monterey Bay was that good. They have an opportunity right here in front of the net to Kane to try to make something happen. A very aggressive third play is going to work out in their favor for just long enough, but Calflick will eventually push this ball downfield, popped into the air to the sidewall. Aftershock knocking it down. There is the big booming clear down the sidewall. Coming back, and Kane looking very aggressive with his positioning early on in this game. And Juku trying to show that aggressiveness will pay off, and it does. They find pay dirt. 1-0 for Kane.
I hope he's smiling, because that's a cute one. That is really classy. Beautiful touch. Slips underneath the crossbar. Unsavable, even with the defender there. Just misreads it slightly. Great credit to Juku, though. That's how you respond after a 4-0 drubbing. That's not how you respond on the kickoff, however. Red Blow with a big save.
And that's been a couple of different times that we have seen the kickoffs just go very, very poorly for one of these two teams. And ultimately, Kane is able to survive it for now. And they'll get a clear as well, but it'll be a handover of possession. For Monterey Bay, they'll bring it out from their own back line. Now Juku is there looking for a pass, won't find it, might work as a fake. That one will hit the crossbar, out in front of the net, not going to help. A very aggressive third positioning will backflip this one into their own net. And that is one of the most impressive goals you're going to see.
So you got the double commit there, and Indemnity's probably looking at that thinking, did I? Was that me? Was that, can't have been me, surely. That's unfortunately just a panic moment where one of these players, your anchor, has caught themselves far too far up the pitch. They try and do something with it rather than just leave it. Lack of communication, yes. Maybe a bit of overzealousness, yes. The result is still the same. It's a tie game.
What I want to see at this point now is how Monterey Bay is going to react, knowing that Kane is going to have this very aggressive Apparently it just doesn't matter because Kane is just built differently, and Red Blur is going to be the one to score it. Indemnity knocks it down, the best 50 I've ever seen. It goes right to red light, bumps over the top, and then the almost impossible angle shot. Just dominus things. That's all I got to say.
Can we talk about the pop off that rear wing? That is dirty. A give and go with themselves. And to have the composure to put that away at the end when the angle was always going against them, that's a beautiful individual play. And that was almost another bit of individual brilliance from Juku as Red Blur stops the Cal Flick push forward. It's not going to stop Garrett, however. Up it goes and away it goes from Kane University with that lead reinvigorated.
Quite honestly, I feel like at this point, Kane is just playing redirect simulator. Every single time the ball comes around the face of the net, that seems to be the touch they're going for. And Garrett's going for the big double off the backboard, and that's a game-tying goal.
It might not be G, but it's certainly S. Garrett S. And I mean, look, we're starting to raise the skill ceiling of this series. More mechanical prowess, seemingly one on top of the other. Another kickoff, gonna go the way of the Otters, goes sideways, picked up by Calflick, inwards towards goal, away it goes. Garrett's not gonna get there first. Forward, it's Juku, beats Aftershock to the punch, and that's a tap-in, and that's going to be put home by Indemnity. You can't put them down.
Yeah, this is, again, that just aggressiveness from Kane, relentless pressure to push up all three players, and it's a little bit too much for Monterey Bay right now. They're not able to counterattack. A lot of times, that's what you have to do. If you're not getting nice, big, booming clears away from that attacking team, you're going to struggle mightily when they put up this much pressure, and that's what has happened. A little bit of a backboard miscue is going to lead to a clear off the backboard. As we respawn, we see the touch there, the floater on target. Garrett S will be there for the save.
That's a good call as well from Garrett. You can see their Aftershock could have gone up. Didn't. Stopped any potential follow-up shot from happening. Not going to stop that one, however. And for the first time in this game, Trippin, potentially a really important moment. 2-point lead for Kane University. Their firepower has returned to its full force. The cannons are firing away. And it might be a little bit too much for the Otters to deal with as we hit the 2-minute mark.
And they do still have 2 minutes to recover in this game. There is some time, especially if that 1 minute is to float in. It doesn't. It goes a bit wide. They'll come up on some pressure here. And they have to regain at this point, though. You got to get that momentum stopped for Kane. You have to stop giving them that ability to just score at will. And Aftershock will have a look here. They will not be able to connect with the ball. And Relic, mistakes like that are going to make this very difficult to come back here for Monterey Bay.
It's a better opportunity than I think they gave themselves credit for. There was time to line up the shot because RNG was still in progress. The demo had already been made. That's going to be a push off the backboard. Garrett intercepts another potential attacking run. Goes up, got no boost. Not that the orange team knows that. It's a decent clearance away. Double commit that straight to the midfield. Oh, what a miss that was! Open net, unpunished. What can the Otters do with that? Infield, looking for Calflick. Finds the pinch, goes a little bit too far wide. Aftershock steps in, back into the center. Juku away.
So I'm going to roll up the sidewall here with 60 seconds left to go. It's Garrett to pass it out to the infield. Great redirect opportunity. That one go off the backboard. Will they get there in time to shoot? They will. It's Aftershock finding the net. And they will get a little bit of this comeback opportunity. I like the look there from Red Blur, but no one is expecting Calflick to make that touch. They get it right out in front of the net and give Aftershock a freebie.
50 mph, not exactly the most powerful shot, but the way he places it is away from the trajectory of all the defenders in net. That's a really difficult skill to master, and Aftershock in a split second has been able to utilize it to find himself and his team a 1 goal. Well, I mean, that was a 1 goal back into it, but it's now got to be another 2 goals because that is 2 major whiffs in the offensive phase here for Monterrey Bay. It's a free shot. I'm glad Juku didn't get a touch in it. It might very well have rattled woodwork otherwise. Kane, 5. Otters, 3. 48 seconds left. They keep on shooting themselves in the foot.
Yeah, quite honestly, Monterrey Bay just did their best Kane impression right there by pushing up an incredibly aggressive third. The difference was that Kane has been hitting that touch consistently, and Monterey Bay ends up with the whiff, unfortunately. They're down by 2 goals here, 30 seconds left to go. They've struggled to come back in games before. Kane has been on an absolute tear since an early struggle in this one. A great 50 by Indemnity at midfield now as we hit 20 seconds and counting. For Monterey Bay to try to get back into this one. An opportunity at midfield will be denied, and we'll have just the final 10 seconds left to count out.
Garrett from the back. At this point, time a cruel mistress and running away a little bit too quick for Monterrey Bay's liking. We saw a 7-game thriller in game number 1. We saw the Otters up their count in game number 2. They've been able to now match that goal output from game number 2 with 4 of their own, but Kane find 1 gear further. 5, a famous 5 for Kane, as it's a 9-goal sensation here in game number 3. Again, most important score, though, Trippin, is the one at the end of the game when we're considering that macro scoreline. It's 2-1 in favor of Kane.
Yeah, I mean, quite honestly, we have no shortage of goals to talk about in this series, which is certainly making things awfully interesting. And this is one of those situations, I think, where we have 2 very offensive teams who just happen to be mechanical enough to play defense. Not really any coordination on either side for defense. The offense has looked great. We've seen so many good outlet passes. We've seen some great play off of the backboard. I've seen, all kinds of fun things and highlights that we can talk about here, but the defense has been lacking on both sides. I think that the overall winner of this series is going to be the team who can step up better defensively and take more control of the ball and just stop giving up those easy possessions, those easy goals, and most importantly, those aggressive third-man players. That has been driving me absolutely bonkers. I know that's a style that I like to play, but I hate to play against it. And when I'm looking at competitive Rocket League, it's a tough one to watch as well. Quick shot there, one way, going back for Juku, the other, and Aftershock with the save.
And it is so strange as well to talk about defensive failures when game 2 was a shutout. It was a 4-0.
Yeah, how?
The ability to defend is there. They just seem to... Memory of a goldfish, right? Memory of a goldfish. And if we see more of that Monterrey Bay, then Kane University's got a lot to be scared about. Got a lot to be scared about if Aftershock finds that double touch. Not on this occasion. Garrett slows the play down. Indemnity, the pop up here. Cal Flick doesn't have... Oh, they do have the pace to get something on it, but not enough. There's a demo on Indemnity there who was rushing forward. Missed touch. Juku not able to get a piece of it here. Away to the midfield line. Nice rotations round from Kane University as they continue to look, poke, and prod. Find a way through Aftershock. Again, possession lost. And that's certainly one thing which we can discredit this Otters team for. They do have a tendency to give away possession cheaply. And Kane University, that's why they found so much joy in game number 3.
Yeah, and they have that possession again, Duquesne University, and a missed touch here off the backboard from Aftershock. We knocked down by Juku. Needs someone behind them to help out, and it's going to be just thrown right in front of the net. Cleared back to midfield again, and now that battle for the midfield possession will begin. It's Calflick who's going to be the first one to try it out. It's going to go off the ceiling here for Aftershock. Clear by Juku. Will bounce around on the corner. Garrett making the turn, getting the beat on the ball. It'll soar off into the other corner. We're approaching a 2-minute mark here with neither team being able to score a goal, Relic, after 9 in game number 1. It seems to be either feast or famine for both sides.
Out into the midfield once again. Oh, Indemnity. Oh, my word, it almost came off. It was actually no contact from Indemnity. The shot from Blur, very almost good enough on its own. Kane starting to flex their creative minds. That's a very simple shot on target. Forces a save from the keeper. Aftershock in this case. There they are again, out to the midfield, helped on by Garrett. That's actually on target, would you believe? Juku does what they can do. Bit of a difficult starting position here. They're trying to look for demos on the way out. Garrett's finds one on Juku, but it's a little bit too far to the side here. Garrett's backboard and away once again.
Right at halftime, still tied up at 0 piece. Garrett trying to change that, starting up some offense here and getting a pinch to roll up into the corner. There's a free look in front of the net. No one from Kane is able to touch it till the last possible second. They'll clear it across. Monterey Bay will continue with that pressure. There is a pass onto the backboard. It is going to be denied. Back out to midfield. A lot of players from Kane University look a little bit panicky here offensively. Aftershock taking some control. Couple wave dashes, keeping that speed up. Garrett now will play it in the corner. Out in front of the net. Very dangerous spot in front of the box. The save made yet again. The shot, here it comes. The save yet again. A couple bounces around. Absolute pinball style right now in front of the net, but it's still not in.
Indemnity did not know what happened, and they're very lucky as well. The power of the shot just skying upwards and hitting woodwork once again. Garrett's, that's going to end up straight with the orange team. That's fallen nicely for Juku, who helps it onward, if not a little bit sideways. Finds that second touch. Difficult for Calflick, forced back. Up goes Garrett's, makes the interception. Back in it goes once again for the orange team. Away it goes, but that's a double commit. Garrett's not going to find that 100 boost, but is going to chase the ball down. Infield, Aftershock, going sideways. Surely the shot on target, the better option here. Picks up that 100 boost on the way out. And it's a nervy game, a frayed game. No real consistency, but finally a breakaway moment for Indemnity, who finds the go-ahead goal. 1:06 left, Kane with the lead.
A great job chasing this one down by Indemnity and making a perfect read on Aftershock's touch. And they're chasing that ball downfield. The teammate comes up behind them and tries to help out. And that goes to be the downfall here for Monterey Bay as they found themselves down by a goal. But now with the kickoff situation, they have an opportunity to reset a little bit. Kickoffs have been a little bit stronger for them so far in this series. Aftershock off the back wall, leaking out in front. Here's Cal on target. That one will be saved by Red Blur. Now finally cleared by Juke because we have 50 seconds left.
Garrett's forced to go wide, and there's a demo on Juku. They're one light here in the midfield. Indemnity goes wide himself. Good opportunity there. The doink away, just basically playing keep away for the sake of his team here. Monterrey, it's a little bit too Route 1 for me. A little bit too simplistic, just looking to clear the lines, and then that's it. There's no forward thinking. Indemnity, Kane starting to look better and better. A little doink there, and we might have been talking about 2-0. Garrett's towards the net. Juku away. I think he was hitting woodwork anyway. 50. Calflick over one. Where's the third player? There they are, but a big save from Indemnity. There's the follow-up, and it goes wide again. You cannot say that the Otters haven't had their chances. They have, and then some. Here's another great defense once again. Garrett's wrong place, wrong time. Aftershock puts it back. Kane on to match point.
Boy, does Monterey Bay want that one back right out in front of the net relic, and they're not able to send it home. The opportunity they had and that they needed, you said, where's the third man? Just a tiny, tiny bit late. I mean, we're talking a matter of a second or two. And for all the times that I've been upset about the aggressive third man, that was the time where they needed, shockingly, to be more aggressive, to actually get that goal to go. They don't find it there. And then, as you mentioned, now we're on to match point for Kane. A very solid look for them so far. But I've seen this episode before, and I'm definitely thinking Monterey Bay is going to have an adjustment and an answer for that last game.
I would not be surprised to see that myself, Trippin. I think what Kane has, of course, is that 2-point advantage in the series. They've got the confidence. They know that they found something that works defensively for them, just as the Otters found something that worked defensively for them in game number 2. I don't really know where it's gone. I guess you could argue that there were a lot less goals in game number 4, and therefore, really, should we be criticizing them that much? Was it more their offensive side of things which let them down? I would say on the basis of that game number 4, yeah, it probably was, but Kane is running away with the momentum now. Demo on Garrett's back into the midfield, and I love these offensive rotations from Kane. It's another shot on target, unlucky not to be 1-0.
That's real close there. The cherry picking just about works out for them. You're saying how much you like that offensive rotation. They're just back there waiting in the wings, Arcane, to make that shot happen. That time, it does not work. Now, going the other way, Monterey Bay doing the same thing. They have to play this one off the backboard. It's 50 down. Indemnity getting credited for a shot. Now it's cleared out by Garrett. It'll be a race all the way down to the orange net. Red Blur will be the one to initially win it. Aftershock back out in front of the box. That one's cleared to the side wall. Aftershock keeping it in. There's the boom. It's a deflection. rotation. Might it be there for Red Blur? They pass it out big time midfield, and Blur's going to bounce free a couple times.
Up and loose. There for anyone to get. It's Aftershock. Lets it rest on his hood. Nice. Not able to beat the second. There's Garrett's. They're looking to go again. A bit too aggressive. Otters trying to perhaps surprise, shock, catch out Kane University. Another infield pass intercepted. Garrett's towards net. One-on-one. Challenge won by Kane University. Red Blur transfers it down to the backboard of the blue. Shot off target. Shot not away as it's once again into Aftershock's hands. The chase forward doesn't prioritize the boost. Takes it round one and there's no connection, although it's a scuffed connection actually, but not on target. That was the most important moment. The Otters to strike. Infield once again and no luck for Aftershock tripping. They're so close.
Incredibly speedy, aggressive offensive rotations there from Monterey Bay, just trying to get those goals on the board and play with that lead for longer. That shot will be off target there from Kane. I gotta admit, that's one that you absolutely hate to see, as it'll bounce free into the corner. Aftershock hitting that one down. Indemnity knocking it the other way. It'll bounce all the way back as we approach halftime here in this critical game in number 5. Kane University just one victory away here from getting their first series win of the season.
Like
demo
that.
in front of the net
yes.
is not going to help. Look at Monterey Bay getting physical.
Your temptation here is to just try and block the clearance. Calflick absolutely chooses the right decision. Demo 1, potentially Demo 2 of them, because that ball is going to go back out into the box. And as long as one of your teammates is there to shadow strike, that's a free shot of net, baby. Well done from the Otters. Much, much needed breakthrough just on the stroke of halftime. Kane University, are you going to let this one slip away?
And now it's really going to be up to Monterey Bay to hold on to this lead. We've seen them do it quite well before. They've also struggled to do it versus Kane. So not really a whole lot of opportunities from the prior 4 games for either of us to really figure out how this one is going to go. We haven't seen really any consistency at this point. So I'm not even going to try to speculate. I'm just going to talk about the game that's happening. That has 2 more minutes left to go. Kane's still on that match point, pushing up offensively here. Off of the backboard, rolling down. It'll go the other way.
Garrett moves forward as Juku's in hot pursuit. And you can see that the one major adjustment that has been made by the Otters is they're going for these strafing runs. They're not necessarily looking for the challenges. They're looking for the next play. And that is exactly what Garrett has done. A pickpocket 2-0.
This is a great job here by Monterey Bay to secure a stronger lead and a nice cheeky chip pass out into midfield in the 50, just far too late. Ends up being a wide open net. Now Kane is going to be fighting from 2 goals behind with 90 seconds left to do it. The opportunity is there, but the late comeback has not been one that either team has been able to pull off. It only seems to be with an abundance of time on the clock that either of them are able to make any significant pushes. And it's only time ticking away the longer it takes Kane to score their first goal this game.
Oh, I love this from Garrett, just slow down the play. I love this from Aftershock, slow down the play, but bumped out of the way and forces a save out of Calflick. Aftershock, bold attempt, doesn't come off. Bit of a miscontrol here, back to Juku. Challenge won by Juku, but there is the follow-up clearance from Garrett. Sideways, and another challenge won here for the blue team. Lovely bit of keep away from Cali State, Monterey Bay. That's dangerous, glances across goal, out to the midfield line. Garrett forced back. Again, waylays the 100 boost. Is going to run back around and get this 100 on the midfield line. Bit of a mistouch there from Calflick, but really selfless plays here from Monterey Bay. If they see a potential situation developing, if there's a bit of a scuffed shot, if there's a bit of a mistimed hit, there's always someone there to rotate back in around and make sure that it is cleared away from a dangerous area. 20 seconds left.
Yeah, and that is a much, much better look than we have seen in a couple other of these games, just to get the ball out of danger as many times as possible.
Man.
They will not get the danger away there. Indemnity will put the first one on the board for Kane. And I think for your Monterey Bay right now, that's why you had a 2-goal lead in the first place, but now you've got a 1-goal lead to hang on to with 16 seconds and a kickoff incoming.
Clinical, unsavable, in off the post, 16 seconds. Weirder things have happened, but that's a good first sign for Cali Bay. Demo on Juku, back into the center. Difficult, and they've done the full turnaround. Didn't even need 16 seconds.
Well, I have absolutely caster cursed myself, as neither team has been able to make a late comeback happen. And Kane, in the final 60 seconds of the game, has managed to turn this one around. They've tied the game up at 2 apiece, but there are still 9 seconds left to go for one of these two teams to get a late second hero victory. It is a neutral kickoff. It's going to be Cal who will start things off out to midfield. They will be denied. There's a redirect opportunity. Garrett will come in and knock that one away. Now 0 seconds. It bounces off the ceiling, comes down to the ground, and Relic, our first overtime.
CSUMB, they were in the driver's seat and they find themselves thrown into the passengers department. That is a real nervy end to this game. Garrett almost finds that double tap. Calflick, that's gonna head off to the side. Aftershock wins the challenge. Can he find the second touch here? No, it falls down and not on target. The savior being Red Blur. Speedy Gonzalez moving into the midfield, moving forward. Infield, it goes once again. Indemnity, the savior. 2 goals in 5 seconds. Ends up with Red Blur once again. Infield and away. Workman clearance, Juku, and a demo. It's currently as tight as you want it, Trippin. What a finale we may have here.
Oh, this is looking real good right now. Just as an overall game, we're here for the content. There's a touch off the sidewall, double commit defensively. One will go back. Red Blur skies this one, looking for a secondary touch and a drop angle. They're going to find it, but Cal is going to find a save. Now they'll go in offense the other way. Aftershock going to get beat on the 50. That will take off the pressure here as we equip the first minute of this overtime, and Calfic will start things over yet again. Has the ball taken away, but now it's Garrett with 80 boost on the sidewall. Gets bumped a couple times. Can't make the decision, gets called off, shot on target, saved by Juku, answer, rebound off of the post yet again.
Desperation demos coming out from Kane, but it disrupts the play enough to be able to prevent what was almost a certain third goal going in, taking this to game number 6. Juku, the pop up, met in the air by Garrett, who more and more often we're seeing trying to put on the cape here, to be the superhero, to drag his team through into that game number 6. He's got to remain faithful to his teammates here, simply because he's not going to be able to challenge the rest of this series on his own, let alone this game. There it is, nice infield pass, and that's exactly why you keep the faith. Calflick, CSUMB, take it to game number 6.
I just love the awareness here from Garrett and from Calflick to stay up on this offensive play. Garrett gets bumped off the ball, doesn't have a ton of boost to work with, but does an excellent job on the wall of getting that recovery, making sure they can get back to the ball, pass it out in midfield, and right there is a teammate just waiting, just on a silver platter. Serve it to me, please, and let me score this goal. Great victory there for Monterey Bay. They still have another one to do, Relic, before we get to that aforementioned Game 7. We knew it was going to happen this entire time. Not to leak the script or anything, but this is a Monterey Bay win that's coming up in Game 6. So if there's any point in time that you need to go, like, get a drink, go to the bathroom, want some snacks or something, now's the time to do it, because we already know what's going to happen off that momentous Game 6.
Oh, Trippin, it's not about the destination. It's about the journey. Even if we know what's going to happen, you want to find out how big or how little that scoreline is. Let's not mince meat here. Let's not mince meat, because Kane University did so well to scrap that overtime out of nothing. They were not part of that game for a solid 3 minutes. And then all of a sudden, great goal. Excellent execution from Indemnity and a kickoff goal. And that's how quickly Rocket League can turn. Just as here, open net, the ball trickling wide. It's not even a case of whether you can or can't at this stage. It's about the trying. I know it's very anti-Yoda, isn't it? But trying something different can sometimes catch out your opponents. And I think that is what we saw from CSUMB in that game number 5. The willingness to try something different, to change things up. And Kane University, now it's up to them. Can they respond with some adaptations of their own?
Yeah, at least the first 30 or seconds of this game a little bit ugly here from Kane, and this one is pinched off the backboard, redirected luckily. We gotta wait for Red Blur to get all the way back here on defense. Aftershock will challenge them with a touch in the corner. They'll go up for the 50 and knock it down hard off the ground. Garrett will call off Cal Flick. They get a little bit of air dribble control. Goomba stop attempt, and the ball just leak out to midfield. Aftershock with one touch, looking for a second. The tight angle off the backboard. Pass in front of the net. Gonna be denied by the defense. Going up is Indemnity. That touch right out in front of the net. Aftershock will capitalize, in Monterey Bay another goal.
Aftershock had a lot of time to figure out what he wanted to do with this, and Red Blur just a little too slow. Maybe should have angled that car up a little bit further. Of course, Dominus, plank build, got a bit of a longer hitbox, and so you've got to use that to your advantage. It's an easy mistake to make, but it's also not a great mistake to make at this particular point in the series. That is another lead going the way of Monterey Bay, and Kane University, if they go to game number 7, you would worry for them, because that would be 2 games unanswered.
This is going to be a free low goal for Aftershock. Just coming right off of the analysis from Relic. Calflick is like, we're not quite done with this one yet. Let me dish up Aftershock real quick for a wide open free play goal that is just not going to be missed. And I think that really has been the transition for this Monterey Bay team over the course of this series. I think if this is game 1 or game 2, quite honestly, as easy as that goal was, I think Aftershock might end up missing that one. That happened so many times early on, where the woodwork was just getting beat down by these many shots. But now that Monterey Bay has cleaned up that offense a little bit, we're seeing them score a lot more often than they are just throwing the ball away, and that is helping them immensely. And now Kane finds themselves in a 2-0, possibly 3-0 hole, and that one will be saved. Will it be cleared as well? Yes. So Kane now has 3 minutes to make up 2 goals again.
And, we've seen the best of the Otters defense. We've seen the worst of the Otters defense. They don't have to worry about defense because of how much they're dominating this midfield. Kane have hardly had a look at the net. In fact, really, this is their best opportunity. And even then, they're still in the viewing seats. They're not able to get in and amongst the action themselves. Big clearance from Garrett. Looking for that second touch. Almost finds the top pocket there. Incredible that they almost managed to find a third from that particular scenario. Garrett sees Aftershock on the far line. Excellent, intercepted, still finds its way to Aftershock. Actually, halftime comes and goes, and it's a 2-0 scoreline. Kane looking for something a little bit devilish there, but look, they've been able to score 2 goals within the last 30 seconds. It's not all over yet.
Drop right down in front of the box. It's saved by Garrett. Now going the other way. Great boost steal here from Dooku, hoping to help out. Aftershock will put a shot on target. It's going to be Indemnity who will manage to get in front of the play. And finally, this one clear downfield. Rowing up the side wall. A good opportunity here to shoot for Kane. They'll just let that one go. He cleared out the other way, and now here comes Juku off the back wall. They won't get the touch. A very, very awkward opportunity, but Red War was going to be there. And I think, Rev, we were talking so many times before about just flat out missed opportunities. I think that's another one right there to put another nail in the coffin.
It's another mistake from the defense of Kane University as well. Whereas we wouldn't have been seeing this in game number 1 and game number 2, now it's starting to become a lot more prevalent. And you can see the confidence from Calflick there, throwing themselves into a 1v2 challenge and coming out on top. Over to the far side, Calflick once again, little boost. Again, not that Kane know that, and the eventual follow-up shot is snuffed out. Garrett round the corner. No third player there, but as long as the possession remains in the Otters' hands, they could just drive this one to the finish line.
Yeah, that's the thing here right now. You don't even need to shoot the ball right now if you're Monterey Bay. Like, sure, if you get an open opportunity like that one, Garrett, just go ahead and lay it in. Just take your third shot and score your first goal. Absolutely, why not? But they didn't have to. They did a great job there for about 30 seconds, just holding on to the possession, just making sure a different player from Monterey Bay was coming in, making a touch every single time they got an opportunity. That's exactly what they did. It leads to that third goal. And now Kane has even bigger heroics that they have to climb compared to game number 5. In game 6, they're now 3 goals down with 60 seconds to play.
Yeah, 2-0, you got some daylight. 3-0, and you're practically in a different country by that point. 50 seconds left. And all you can see is the Otters looking to extend their lead. Juku with the save away. Real worrying signs if you're a Kane University fan right now. That said, as if on cue, I mean, look, I can cast a curse myself. Yes, we are one and the same here, Trippin. It's a nice infield pass, maybe a bit of complacency. Calflick a little slow to that challenge. It's 1 goal to find 2 in 41 seconds, not impossible. Is this the start of something exceptional?
Well, this is why you have a 3-goal lead. You can give up a goal and you cannot panic. You can take a moment to adjust, just calm down the nerves a little bit and say, guys, let's focus on getting to game number 7. We have to close out this game first. We need to make sure we don't allow Kane to get back into it. They've already shown that they certainly have that ability when given an opportunity. They'll throw this one downfield. It's going to be Red going for it. They will get beat. This one coming down off the backboard. It's going to be 10-second average per goal. Has to happen here for Kane. Will they do it in the next 5?
They're going to close it down. And Indemnity needs to score this. Oh, and they have. Oh, it's a massive pre-read and flip into the trajectory of the ball. That is going at a rate of knots as well to slice it in top right. 10 seconds kickoff. Is it deja vu for CSUMB?
You literally cannot believe that right now. 4K, and they've got 10 seconds to score. They win the kickoff. They've got possession. There's the cross, but no one's there as it's a little bit too spicy to come down off the ceiling. 0 seconds is all that's left for Kane. Will they do it in the last second? There's the pass. No touch. They're not going to find it. Monterey Bay will barely hold on to win that game number 6 relic and move on to game number 7, just as Leighton predicted.
It's the Leighton effect. It's game number 7. It had to be. And you know what? It might not have been had Kane had the right hand talk to the left hand, because they were all stumbling over each other. Call someone off. Make your decision early. Of course, these things come with time and experience. These are still young guys, and you can't blame them for wanting to be the hero themselves. And there may still be a chance to be the hero in game 7. Not all over yet, of course. But surely you're looking now at Monterey Bay and thinking they're in the ascendancy. They are not starting games slow. They're starting games fast. The passing lanes are open for them to exploit. Their defense is looking a lot better after that game 3 anomaly. The waves are currently flowing in their favor, but game number 7, Champions Field. I guess it's not Champions Field right now, but we'll call it Champions Field for sake, right? You never know what can happen in these scenarios. It's a final 5 minutes on the clock.
And right now, the thing that's going to happen is Monterey Bay needs to open up this game confidently and quickly. The last 2 games, they've gotten out to early big leads, 2 and 3 goals in games 5 and 6 respectively. With an early lead here, putting Kane on their back foot, I think that is the best direction for this Monterey Bay team to take. The only other thing they have to do, the thing that they have struggled with, is shutting out Kane in the last minute of the game. If they're able to get that far, it'll be a confident win for them. Otherwise, I think Kane certainly has their chances. If they can just get a lead, that is what they've struggled with in the last couple losses.
I definitely like to see CSUMB get the demos out once again, or just continue up their great shooting accuracy. Aftershock, that is a difficult shot to make, and we've said that a couple of times. I mean, we were highlighting him from the first couple of games, seemed really out of it, but now into the groove. I mean, goodness me. How close do you want it? 1-0.
Yeah, and that's, again, part of the benefit of a best of 7, if it gives some of these players a little bit of time to actually warm up into the series, and I think that's exactly what Aftershock needed. Here's a flip reset from Garrett that ends up as a pass, and Aftershock, unfortunately, will throw that one off of the post, but Calflick will keep up this possession. He'll get 50 on the goal line. It's finally cleared out. Pop to midfield. Aftershock is there, and a missile's on target, but that one will not go. That one's saved by Juku on this shot by Calflick. The shots are raining in for Monterey Bay, but the goals are not falling.
It's time to whip out the Premier League cliche of it was easier to score. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Oh my goodness, the Otters. I hope that doesn't come back to bite them in the bottom. Still 3 minutes 30 left. They are desperate to find that second, deserve that second. Garrett's lurking around the enemy box. They just about get it away. Kane University looking to fight on the rebuttal here. Another great bit of blocking from Aftershock, however, leaves it. And again, that should be 2-0.
I like the worm burner approach on the shot, but the accuracy just not there at the moment. And the more that Monterey Bay struggles to get these goals to fall, the more they allow Kane back into the game. The low 50 will go in front of the box. Aftershock will push it out to midfield. Garrett will get out 50, but Calflick is there. With a little bit of boost as well to take a little bit of control. Red will put this one towards target, but they won't find it now. It's a 2-on-1 attack. No 50 there. And Juku will try with 0 boost to get a read on this one off the backboard out in front for Kane, and they will not find the hole either.
All right, that's evens. That's evens, because Kane should have been 1-1 there, and another scuffed shot. Another moment of panic. Great demo on the keeper, but whoa, what a great counter demo from Garrett. Going to go all the way down the other end. Are they going to be able to get there in time? Yes, they are. Massive save, massive power plays, doing everything within the vestiges of their power, both teams, to try and either continue to extend that lead. And no, it's still not going to be extended. Juku unable to score down the other end, makes a big save on his own. Cal Flick infield once again. Oh my word, how have we not seen more than one goal?
My goodness, what can we not say right now about the Keen squad defensively? Now they just need a little bit of offense to go with it. There's the pass.
Oh,
There's going to be another one. Harlem Globetrotter style. One off the backboard, two off the backboard. Third shot coming in late here from Juku. It's not going to be a shot at all. It's going to be a pass out to Red Blur, who will pop it up off the nose of that red and white Dominus. They will not be able to connect. A back pass going now to Juku as they will get it in front of the net off the wall. There's a floater. All three players are in the net for Monterey Bay. They get an initial save. Another infield pass will be pinched away, and Keen will not score on that final drive.
Oh, what a save it was. A ping off the crossbar. Of all things, this much better. Another block away. The Otters defense holds, and finally the counter-attack they've been looking for. Oh, Kane University, got a feel for them. Still 68 seconds mind, but it's another 2-0 breakaway for Monterey Bay.
I mean, honestly, Relic, here's the thing. Keen plays their best Rocket League in the last minute of the game, and we have seen this in at least 3 of the 6 games this season. So I'll call that something that is no longer a statistical anomaly. That's almost something that you can bank on. Here's a counterattack. Here's a great pass. There's a shot on target. This is going to be a dunk as well. It's free at the moment. It's just going to trickle in, and almost as if right on cue, I speak into existence a goal for Keen in just 7 seconds.
Oh, Count Dooku channeling the dark side there. Some witchcraft, some wizardry. I know, that is really, that's blasphemous, I realize, taking it from different franchises. But look, whatever way it goes in, that is massive for Kane University. Chasing down, great patience from Aftershock, but really nice from Dooku once again. That's going to go sideways. 40 seconds to do the business and find that all-important equalizer.
40 seconds, as you mentioned, to go. Indemnity and Kane need to break this ball out of their own half here in order to get an opportunity the other way to tie it up yet again late in a game. Now 30 seconds to go. This shot is wide of the target from Cal. The bounce is a bit favorable. Red will knock it down. It's going to go off the backboard again, and now cleared. Here comes the counterattack from Kane. This one's going to be 50. That's off the side wall. Back in front of the net. There's an opportunity. That one will go wide as well.
Garrett, we're going to put this one to bed. Double tap! Oh, it's off the crossbar again! And now they've got to get back in position to rotate around, but no! Cal Flick was still confident, stuck around, stuck his nose in, and he smelled blood. And now it's flowing out of the wounds as CSUMB tie up the game. Not tie up the game, tie up the series with a bow on top.
You know, I really would have liked to see the double tap goal go, but still CSUMB getting that goal in, securing a 2-goal lead this late in the series is almost most certainly going to be the end of the game, and they will hold on somehow. Will Monterey Bay down 3-1 in the series? They win it in Game 7, 4-3, and what a strong comeback from them.
It's the gentleman's reverse sweep. They allowed some nice goals. And to be fair, what a cracking series, by the way. So many goals to dissect there. But Monterey Bay, that is some steely nerves that you've got, despite that late game threat time and time again from Kane University, able to weather the storm and find their berth in the dock. And now they can take a nice breath and relax. That's an all-important win here in week number 2. And for Kane University, can't go away too disappointed, I don't think. Ultimately, got to look at those last 3 games and say, what could we have done better? But that's the whole point of collegiate Rocket League, right? It's a learning experience. It's a learning curve. And there's an all-important bump in the road that I'm sure that they will overcome.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Even if you end up dropping a series, there are plenty of things to learn from. A lot of opportunities in those final 3 games, I think, for Kane to take that one back to their Rocket League coach, or just any Rocket League coach in general, and just talk over what happened. But when you're talking about a team that came off of getting swept last week, and now they find themselves in a series where they go all the way to 7 and drop it, again, major improvement. The season is still young. We will see the Honors move on to now 2-0 on the season. We'll see Kane fall to 0-2 on the season. GG's overall to both teams, though, Relic. I really liked what I saw out of both of them.
Oh yeah, it was a fantastic series, and we might be able to grab one of the players and or coach. So basically, it's a bit of a choose your own adventure story. We're either going to have a quick break and then return with an interview, or a long break before we head into our second series of the evening. Either way, feel free to stretch your legs, grab some water, and be sure to be back here as quickly as possible, just to vibe to the music, maybe to catch the interview. We'll see you after this. Rattles the backboard and away it goes. And a nice, oh my word, this is actually going to roll in. What? How? And one. Both look pretty confident, both eager to get more goals on the board. That rattles the crossbar. That goes underneath the crossbar. Indemnity and Kane 2-1.
Barely 90 seconds into game number 1. We've already got 2-1.
Oh, man.
Make it 3-1 already. It's JCU with a third goal.
This is from the Otters, looking much better. Less than 2 minutes. 2 goals, not hard to find. Oh, it's another one that rattles the post. And as I said earlier, you create chance after chance eventually.
Awfully interesting. So make sure you guys get yourselves comfortable for the rest of this game. 90 seconds left on the clock. That shot is on target from JCU.
The Otters, I mean, I'm pretty sure they'd rather themselves be beavers at this point, because the woodwork certainly proving to be their biggest nemesis here in game number 1. That's a miss. Calflick, double tap. Oh, what a read. What a punishment. And what did I say? Kickoff scenario incoming.
First loss on the season. Both teams in unfamiliar territory. How do they respond? Well, Garrett gets 2 people.
And Aftershock, probably the biggest head-in-hands moment of all, just needed a bit of power. But that's it. That's a lovely flick. And that is surely redemption for us.
We'll go wide as we enter the final 60 seconds of game number 2.
Calflick, that's another win, and that's on a plate for Garrett's. 3-0, and possibly strong, great rotations in their own third. Garrett, that's a lovely pass. That's a great passing play. Shot on target, goal. Can I ask questions?
There is the big boom and clear down the sidewall, coming back, and Kane looking very aggressive with his positioning early on in this game. And Juku trying to show that aggressiveness will pay off. Now Juku is there looking for a pass, won't find it, might work as a fake. That one will hit the crossbar out in front of the net, not going to help. A very aggressive third positioning will backflip this one into their own net. Is how Monterey Bay is going to react, knowing that Kane is going to have this very aggressive throw. Apparently it just doesn't matter, because Kane is just built differently, and Red Bull is playing redirect simulator every single time the ball comes around the face of the net. That seems to be the touch they're going for. And Garrett's going for the big double off the backboard.
It's not going to get there first. Forward, it's Juku, beats Aftershock to the punch, and that's a tap in, and that's going to be put home by Indemnity.
Go with Garrett to pass it out to the infield. Great redirect opportunity. That one go off the backboard. Will they get there in time to shoot? They will. It's Aftershock finding the net.
And here picks up that 100 boost on the way out. And it's a nervy game, a frayed game, no real consistency, but finally a breakaway moment for Indemnity, who finds the go-ahead goal.
Game number 5, Kane University just one victory away here from getting their first series win of the season. A demo in front of the net is not going to help.
Things have happened, but that's a good first sign for Cali Bay. Demo on Juku, back into the center. Difficult, and they've done the full turnaround. He's got to remain faithful to his teammates here, simply because he's not going to be able to challenge the rest of this series on his own, let alone this game. There it is, nice infield pass! If they go to game number 7, you would worry for them, because that would be 2 games unanswered.
This is going to be a low goal for...
You can see as the Otters looking to extend their lead, Juku with the save away. Real worrying signs if you're a Kane University fan right now. That said, as if on cue, I mean,
average per goal has to happen here for Kane. Will they do it in the next 5?
They're going to close it down, and Indemnity needs to score this. Oh, and they have!
Just get a lead. That is what they've struggled with in the last couple losses.
I'd definitely like to see CSUMB get the demos out once again, or just continue up their great shooting crossbar. Of all things, this much better, another block away. The Otters defense holds, and finally the counter-attack they've been looking for.
You can bank on. Here's a counter-attack. Here's a great pass. There's a shot on target. This is going to be a dunk as well. It's free at the moment. It's just going to trickle in, and almost as if right on cue, I speak.
Garrett's we're going to put this one to bed. Double tap! Oh, it's off the crossbar again! And now they're going to get back in position to rotate around, but no! Calflick was still...
I can't say that. I'll get in trouble. There's one for each game, so teams this weekend, somebody's going to have to explain to TSA why they're coming home with an extra trophy. Fine. We're fine. This is going to be great. Why is everybody staring at me? I'm not even doing anything yet. Is it because I'm in a suit? It looks nice. It's new. I'm stressing. It's all right. We win these. We absolutely win these. I've never seen us lose these. I love him. I don't remember his name. What is going on, everybody? And oh, are we ready? I'll start over. Okay. What's going on, everybody? We are here at the Collegiate Esports Commissioners Cup 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. The players are just now entering the arena for day one. A lot of them had the opportunity to be here yesterday to get jerseys, to get familiar with the area, and to get to know one another. But today, the friendly gloves have to come off, and they are all here. Earlier, I was talking to these guys. This mannequin, when they didn't have anything else set up, I could see it from all the way down there, and I thought it was a person. And I stood there for like 5 minutes, and I was like, why is he standing like that? And I thought it was like a smooth criminal. I thought somebody was giving us like a Michael Jackson impression, and then it was a mannequin. I was really embarrassed to admit that. Oh my God, that's a lot of people. Hold on, let's go over this window. Let's go over this window. It just keeps going. There's so many people outside. There are so many people.
A mighty series, a mighty conclusion. Welcome back to Esports U number 2, where we're going to break down this series from the ECAC week number 2, a fantastic series between Monterey Bay and Kane University, a series which Monterey Bay came out on top in a best of 7, going the distance, tripping. Let's have a chat with Garrett.
Yeah, welcome to the broadcast booth, Garrett. Glad to have you here, and importantly, coming off of that effectively gentleman's reverse sweep. You had a very solid performance in week number 1 with the 4-0 sweep. You go all the way to game 7 this time. What was so much different about the Kane University opponent than what you had last week? How does that one end up going all the way to 7?
Yeah, first off, thank you for having me on. This week, it was a lot different than our first week game. These guys played really good out the gate. We could tell that it was going to be a lot tougher competition. We couldn't have our main third be on as well. So we had Aftershock filling in for us in place of Sturban. So we were practicing with that kind of before this, but it was definitely a tough match. After the game 1, we kind of had to regroup, refocus, just know how we play, and start playing our own game through that. And I think that's where we kind of found our strides, but a lot of it came down to the wire.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right to highlight game 2 there, of course, going from a 7-goal thriller to then a 4-0 shutout in favor of you, of course. And then all of a sudden, you find yourself on the back foot again, going through games 3 and 4, obviously with Aftershock in there as not your regular third. How did you guys bounce back? Was it just a case of geeing each other up, giving yourselves that confidence boost necessary, or was it just a case of quiet, confident belief in your own teammates? I mean, that's certainly what it looked like from our end.
Yeah, I honestly think it was kind of a mixture of both. Like when they were winning those games, we decided we needed to pick up the comms. We were getting a little quiet, and we kept saying to each other, like, we're playing very stale, right? Like just very by the book, not really doing anything outside the normal. And that's when I said we need to, pick it up, play a little more aggressive, start going for some more higher, level things that we know we can do, and start playing more confident. And that really helped us out a lot.
I love that mid-game adjustment, especially, coming from the captain saying, hey, team, we got to do something. We got to make a difference. Clearly, that ended up working out. And I do have to ask a very difficult question here of you, Garrett. What about Kane in the final minute of the game was so difficult for your team to figure out? It just seems like every last minute, Kane is just clawing their way back into a series and trying to take you guys out, forcing an overtime, nearly winning a game, some 0-second opportunities. I mean, what changed in those last 60 seconds?
I think, to be honest, a lot of it was just us, like, getting into our heads, like, okay, it's the last 60 seconds. We just got to play through. And, one thing just leads to another. You miss, I mean, in this game, it's so crazy. You miss a couple boost pads and, you're 0 and put yourself in a weird spot, and just allow them to capitalize, because for them, that last minute, they have to be going, all out. It's their do or die. So you kind of have to prep for those moments, I think. And, yeah, they were able to really claw back through a lot of that, like you said. But I don't know, we had a hard time kind of holding it down in the last minute.
Before we go, happy birthday. How are you spending your evening?
I'm actually going to dinner right after this.
Oh, yeah. What you having?
I'm not too sure. Maybe like a steak, something like that.
Not fancy. Nice.
Yeah. It should be good. Should be good after the win.
Well, classy dinner, classy on the field, a class act all around, it seems. Garrett, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you very much for doing this. It was a really great show.
Oh, pleasure's all ours, mate. Take care. Have a great evening. Trippin, always nice to basically just check in with these players more often than not. Such lovely dudes, and what a great birthday for him as well.
Yeah, that's a huge birthday present. And I mean, I'm not going to lie, steak dinner, it sounds absolutely
Oh, it sounds
awesome.
great, doesn't
Just
it?
not on your birthday, just like any day in general. So I'm a little bit jealous there, Garrett. But bro, like that is not the only game that we have to worry about. We still have a whole nother matchup that is left still to go. Excited to see what ONU, RL Black, and BenU are going to have to offer here in just a few minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. We're halfway through effectively, but there's still the prime rib still to enjoy. So be sure to come back after the break where we dig into second servings. It's right on the other side of this.
I don't really want to go outside. It looks like it's going to rain, and the suit is new, so... Oh, there's Doc Haskell. Hi, Doc. How are you? He brings a full notebook with him and, like, writes notes down. It was pretty insane. He had it yesterday. He's going to be coming through this metal detector right here. I don't know his name, though, but I recognize his hair.
Jen.
You're Jen? All right, we're going to interview Jen, who's supporting Kennesaw. I'm going to ask you, like, a couple of very simple questions. Okay. Are we ready? All right, great. College. I really like Georgia College's color scheme. It's just red, white, and blue, I think, but I think they did it in a really clever way. Mineral area wearing hoodies, even though it is 75 degrees outside here in Atlanta, Georgia. Absolute legends.
If only Nick could hear you. Nick, come back.
If he's over 100 feet away, he can't.
You were whispering something, and he started smiling. I'm like, are you whispering?
Oh yeah, because he's got his headphone in if we're close enough. But
Bless you.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit again. You're welcome. I'm gonna go find him. Oh, there he is. Oh my. Oh, okay. Real stuff is starting. Real stuff. Competitive integrity needs to be upheld. We gotta get out of here. Yeah, I don't want to get in trouble. I get really embarrassed when I get yelled at.
30 is
Okay. Wow, it's not 10:30 yet.
It's only barely.
Woo! All right, it's gonna be a long. Hey, what's up? Surprise interview. Join me over here though, so we have a cool backdrop. What are we here for?
Rocket League.
Awesome. I'm not going to ask what school you go to because unless you swapped hoodies, that seems pretty clear.
Nope. You know, I got my jersey on with my name on it.
Oh, you do? Show us your jersey. Look at John T. Turbo here.
Yeah,
That's not his name. I just keep calling him that.
Yeah.
His name is John, but
my name is John Turbesi.
Yeah,
That's
not John T. Turbo.
Yeah, I get the message that I'm going to Nebraska where I met you.
Oh, that's so crazy. So context, if we're probably not going to use this, but we're going to talk about it. Turbo and I met at a LAN like over a year ago. That's so great. What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esports Commissioner's Cup. I am Seb Dillons, joined by a man I have interviewed probably well over 10 times. It's going to be my good friend Neb here from Bay State Overwatch team. Neb looked at me before he started his last series, and he said, "We are not dropping a map for the rest of the day." And so far, he has lived up to that title. But Neb, is there anybody you're thinking, we've got to get them out of the way, we've got to take them down?
No.
No? Just looking at it, each fight's its own, every game going into it, just taking it as it comes?
I have the confidence right now that we're not going to drop a single map.
I love Neb because not only is he confident, but he's correct. Bay State is one of the best Overwatch teams I've ever seen. So it's always good to hear. I love the confidence, and I love Bay State, so I hope they do a great job this weekend. So what qualifier, did you win a qualifier to get here?
At-large bid.
We're looking at Rocket League, we're thinking high odds, low odds, where do we think we're walking away?
I think pretty high. I think we're doing pretty good.
Is there anybody that you're looking at, you're like, please do not let us go up against them unless we absolutely have to?
I mean, really, everybody's good competition, so...
And sorry, what was your name?
Ethan.
Ethan from Mineral Area.
Yep.
Very exciting. Well, Ethan, good luck.
Thank you.
We'll see you soon. What kind of pass? A player pass?
Let me get you a lanyard.
No, you actually have to like tape it to your chest, like really awkwardly with masking tape. Okay. And it's gonna fall off. Yeah. It's gonna be uncomfortable, I promise. That's a guarantee. Okay, cut that, I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, great. I'm great, everything's good.
Who do we interview? Who should we interview?
I don't know, I'm just here. I need caffeine.
That's why we're here, right? This is why a lot of people are trying to figure out, how do we replicate what you guys are doing? How do we, how do they do what you guys are doing to a degree, or why are you guys doing what you're doing to a degree? But to kind of, I think, focus in then a little bit more, I want to talk about gameplay a little bit before we jump into business and all of the other stuff. Jensen, this one's for you, right? I want to talk a little bit about this because to someone like me who's traditionally a League of Legends fan and all that, I know that you've been a coach that's been, all over the world. You've worked with a lot of different professional teams and different regions. My question, I think a lot of people want to know, how did you end up at Maryville and why a North American collegiate college? What was the draw, or what brought you here? How did you get to this point?
When I first came to NA, I worked with the models with the academy team, and I realized that there's a lot of cultural challenges that exist in that's very unique to any esports, right? Where there's this very interesting intersection, because in unlike traditional sports, in esports, players they don't start training with under a structure or a system or a coach from a very early age, which is what happens if you want to pick up any other sport, right? Like you start going to community events or whatsoever, and then you start developing your skills and your literacy of the game from the age of 6 or 7, and you're very used to working in a team environment, a coaching environment. But in esports and for League of Legends, a lot of times players they go through they go up, they climb the ranks in solo queue where everything is basically self-taught, and then all of a sudden they need to be placed into a team environment. And I realized that this is something that the Asian teams got right, where they had these B teams, they have the B houses in Korea and Taiwan. You would spend almost close to a year just being a understudy or training partner for the team before you even join an academy team in the first place. And in China, they have like these massive B team systems with like lots of players in them. The moment you hit a certain rank on the ladder, they fly you in. You are then boot camping for a month there at the facility, and depending on how well you do, they then decide whether to retain you on as a training partner or as a trainee in whatever capacity, given how well you perform in those scenarios. So the West was very lacking in all of this, and culturally to do the same things and try to replicate the B house environment or what they do in China or Taiwan would not be possible to do. But the West has a very successful model of developing sports and talent, especially in America, when that is in the collegiate space. So I looked at this, I saw the resources that was available, and when then when Clerky pitched its vision to me, it's like, yeah, this is what I think should be the future for development in the any ecosystem for esports.
Oh, right on. I think maybe let's follow up on that a little bit then. Because Dan, okay, so Dan, you pick up Jensen, you've got this going. I think that's gonna be my question then is, or to any other schools that want to be competitive like you guys on that level, is this something that we should be expecting to see in the future? Right? Is this now the standard that you guys, Jensen, you and Dan, do you guys feel that this, if every college across the nation starts doing this, if they start recruiting coaches like Jensen and trying to build this atmosphere, is this going to be the next standard, or is this something that's very successful that obviously it's proven to work, but is it sustainable? Is it possible for everyone, or maybe not everyone, but right, the greater sense of the industry and the ecosystem? How do you guys feel about that?
It's a dream of mine, obviously, to get to a point in the future where every university has an esports team that's taken seriously, and every day they report to practice. It's an improvement-driven mindset across the whole program. I think for me though, like the reason isn't necessarily like to see like a March Madness with millions of dollars flowing through it. For me, it's a little bit more simpler than that. The reason why this is my vision is just because it's best for player development and just players in general. What we see in tier 2 ecosystems almost across the industry, that's like below academy, I would say, like right before you, I would consider academy professional, because you're making a higher salary than exists in a lot of semi-pro sports actually. But in the tier 2 ecosystem, you kind of go from like your parents' bedroom making no money on a Discord server with a coach that hasn't been certified by any national body, to playing academy, and that's horrifying to me. So while I don't see collegiate as being, or maybe it does end up being this way, but it doesn't have to be the definitive path to pro. I want it to at least be an option, like a parallel option, similar to how you can go through the Canadian hockey system, where you can choose to spend a couple extra years developing and maturing physically and emotionally in the NCAA model before you go to the show in the NHL. I'd like to see that reality in esports. This isn't something where there's a century of history to the competition. So it's a very powerful tool, especially when you're trying to convince your parents that this is a worthwhile pursuit, that you can get a college degree. And it's one of those things where, at least in America, with how expensive college is, getting scholarships after your first, after your 18 to 20-year-old years is usually harder academically. You usually get the majority of your scholarships going into school when you're an 18-year-old freshman, and the way that the current path to pro is set up, a lot of players are foregoing that span of time to try to go pro for no pay. And so For me, it's more about like a health of a pipeline, health of the ecosystem, health of kind of the player experience of pursuing this, and that's the big thing for me. And obvious it's a dream. I want Maryville to serve as like a case study and a model for that. We want to show results. We want to eventually be competing to win proving grounds, to show that this can be a functional alternative to the traditional tier 2 within esports, and that's what we strive for every year.
And I can add to that a little bit, just from a business perspective. I think, we're very fortunate to have Jensen and Dan here at Maryville, but I think if you're a university looking at, just adding a coach, maybe not to the magnitude of Jensen, but I think you have to look at the metrics. I think if you look at what the ROI and the business case of adding relevant esports within your university, what that means to your student life and all those different things, all those things that they try to check boxes within higher ed. I think having a relevant esports program or a relevant system within esports, every university should be looking at it, because their baseball players and their basketball players and football players are all playing gaming. And a lot of these esports, figureheads and coaches, etc., are the relevant people in digital media. And it helps the school with a brand perspective. And I think just having any sort of relevant and adding bodies within the esports ecosystem at universities, you have 2 or 3 basketball coaches, you have 2 or 3 soccer coaches, both on male and female. I think having relevancy within esports, it has probably a 15 to 25x, return versus like traditional sports. And I can say that with my background and everything like that, and just knowing how we look at it. But at the same time, if you're not looking at esports as a relevant, not even revenue stream, but relevant digital eyeball within your sports and student life perspective, I think you are sort of behind the times.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Collegiate Esport Commissioners Cup. I am Septilence, and I get a really neat opportunity here. We get to interview Burns from E United. Burns, how you doing?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. We're on day 2 of the event. It's been a fantastic one. I ran into you yesterday, but we were running around like chickens with our heads off, and it has been, how has your time been here? What has this event kind of been like?
Yeah, it's great. I just love being in the passion pit, seeing all the college kids go at it. Reminds me of like an old school MLG event almost, but being like in an epicenter of the passion pit, seeing Rocket League, Valorant, Overwatch, and Smash, it's amazing to see all of these schools compete against each other and get a shot to play on this main stage.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And tell us a little bit about kind of what is E United, right? Because we know that you're here, we know you're here to represent them, but for the people that don't know, what is E United?
Yeah, E United was founded in 2016. We're a professional esports organization. We've been in League of Legends, Overwatch, all the way to Battle Right, I think it was called back in the day. Right now in 2022, we are in Gears of War, Halo, Rocket League, PUBG, and announcing a new title tomorrow. I know, get the small intel here. So it's a lot of fun. I went pro in Call of Duty when I was younger. I ended up playing my last event under E United, switched in 2016, and I've been the GM ever since. So it's a true blessing to be able to stay with an organization for as long as I have, and we love giving back to the collegiate community. I actually graduated from Full Sail in 2013.
I was a little confused about the jersey.
Yeah, so the Full Sail boys are out of the tournament, unfortunately, but I decided I would rep them today in their honor. Yeah, it's just great. I love working with younger individuals who are trying to find their path in esports, and these college kids are really showing what they're all about.
Yeah, so to be kind of an ex-pro player, where a collegiate scene at the time didn't exist, especially not to the scale right now, what is it like to see such high levels of success, such high levels of support for something that you weren't able to kind of get as much support in at the time, something that was looked down on a lot more?
Yeah, I'm extremely jealous. That's all I can say. Full Sail started their program in 2017. When I was there in 2011 and 12, it was just a bunch of nerds running around, just creating their own clubs. I was still striving to go pro, but now you have these opportunities to play on main stage, play in front of thousands of people. We just had locals back in the day. You would show up and play for like $200, $100. It was like lunch money.
Right.
Now these kids are playing for scholarships. They're playing for fame. They could pop off here and end up getting a sponsor for $10,000 or $20,000 from somebody.
Right.
So the opportunities are just endless at the moment, and I think it's just great that, you know, you basically can prove yourself and make anything happen right now.
It's instead of kind of what you had gone through, being in college and also trying to go pro, these kids can try to go pro while being in college. It's hand in hand instead of those two kind of battling kind of matchups. So if somebody's trying to go pro, right, they're like, Burns, I want to be you one day. I want to be the GM of United one day. What is that first step to really take it from a hobby to a passion, to a job?
Yeah, I think I've told this story a lot, but it's really, I thought about going pro every night before I went to bed.
Right.
Like, I lived and breathed Call of Duty for years. It was my life. I had to skip dinner sometimes. I had to skip family functions, and my family didn't really understand, but it was what I wanted to do, and it all worked out. But at the end of the day, you always need to kind of be organized. You have to have the ability to not put all of your eggs in one basket. So even though it worked out for me, there are so many opportunities in esports. There's being a caster or interviewing people. There's working in production. There's helping people get waters. Like, literally, there are so many opportunities. So, oh, this crowd's awesome.
They're going crazy, dude. Bay State on their last life right now.
Off subject, Smash, regardless if it's middle school, high school, college, it pops off all the time. I love it.
Well, Burns, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thank you, guys.
Maybe we'll have another. Professor Layton's still here bringing you all the pretty pictures. I'm still Relic. He is still Trippin. And break down this match that we are about to witness, Trippin. A tale of two Marists, one could say.
Yeah, a very interesting situation happened last week where ONU RL Black played the Marist B team and Bennu Esports played the Marist A team. Now, what might happen in them? Well, one of those teams won and one of those teams lost. ONU ends up winning versus Marist B. Bennu falls to Marist A. To make things even more interesting, both of those series were, in fact, 4-2. So we have a very interesting tale between these two. And again, similar to the information that we got in the last series, it's going to be a little bit of a toss-up. It's going to be very interesting to see what these teams are able to do to kind of overcome what happened last week with ONU, you know, dropping those two games. Obviously, you'd like to beat that to go a little bit better for you if you can. And Bennu just trying to recover from a series loss.
Yeah, I think it's a little too early in the season to determine what exactly all of that means. How much better is Marist A in comparison to Marist B? Is that even the case? Is Marist B the better team?
True.
We don't really know, and we don't know many of these ranks, which is kind of half the fun of taking part in these collegiate scenes where there's about a bajillion teams to try and keep your eyes on. And you might know some of the more popular ones. Not to say that these schools are, of course, not popular. They are very popular in our own hearts. But you know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of just like, I guess, statewide value, right? You know, value for, oh yeah, I know that team. Well, we don't know a lot of these teams. We don't know how these guys are going to get on, but I know for sure there's going to be a very exciting series because Professor Layton is here. It's the Layton conundrum. If he turns up on a broadcast in production and is bringing you all of what you see on screen now, it's going to go to game number 7. I guess the only question that we need answer in the next, 35, 45 minutes, Trippin, is which way is it going to go?
Yeah, which way is it going to go for sure? We already saw a gentleman sweep, and there is a missile on target immediately from the lean. That one does end up being saved, but what a very aggressive start here for Ohio Northern. They put another one on target, but that one is denied by the crossbar. Now Benedictine will go the other way. It'll come off the ceiling and down. Cleared away, back out to midfield. And right away, Relic, we are seeing what I would consider a drastic change in pace from our first series. And it will go in. Little awkward, but it went in.
Bit of help from Benedictine defense as well. Firm. It's a 50. That's going towards the net. That is off the post. But unfortunately, the last defender there runs in thinking that it's not going to go off the post. No faith in one's own woodwork, by the way. And ultimately, Ohio North, that early perseverance pays off. They get the 1-0 lead. Are they going to double it up? Well, they probably should have. Wide and not at all handsome.
This 1-0 dribble down. We picked up at midfield. Mac Daddy Gonna get 50'd off the backboard, coming down in front. Jenny just waiting for that one. There's the cross out to midfield. A perfect passing play, denied on the goal line here by Lean. Here comes Cathedral. They'll play this one off the back wall with 16 boosts, and that one is cleared away by Firm. Just outside of the first minute here of game number 1 of this series.
Up goes McDaddy, and he's home, not with the milk just yet. Off the backboard they go once again. And finally, Ohio Northern able to clear the lines, but Benedictine looking good, but that's a very loosey-goosey defense out to the midfield. Back in it goes to a dangerous position, but Ohio Northern preserving that boost, looking to recoup their losses. Now forward for another attack. Double commit from the Benedictine defense. 1-0 still the scoreline as Ohio Northern press.
Here they come. Big demo at midfield. The ball is just going to float the other way. Ohio Northern is right there. It'll be denied, and Jenny will chase it with a whopping 4 boosts. They'll get the wave dash. They'll get the demo. How much will that matter? Some front post defense here from Benedictine. Rotating back is McDaddy as the ball squared out to midfield. That shot wide of the target and denied as well. Benedictine will look for a little bit of control of their own. They haven't really had too many opportunities. They'll pass this one towards the backboard, and Firm will play it all the way up into the air. They'll drop it back down. Can't make the touch. Cathedral to Lean. Back to STN or Stan or Steen. I'm not 100% sure. I've been confused before, Relic, on what some of these players' names might be.
What I'm not confused about is those inverted chroma wheels. Love them, and love the car design overall. Got the shades on, perhaps obscured the vision of himself. Not Jenny with a big save. Big clearance from Jenny once again, as that goes all the way back to Firm. Helps it on towards the backboard. Lean, backboard once again. Shadow Strike! Clinical, 2-0.
This is a very solid goal here on the infield passing play as Firm gets some control, dishes it to Lean, who finds STN at midfield. And the worm burner shot keeps it nice and low on the ground, gets it in, and twos most of the way across the scoreboard. 2:22 to go, a 2-0 lead for Ohio Northern. Now it's on Benedictine to get themselves off the schneid to get a couple goals going, and they do it here starting from their own box.
Yeah, 2,222 donuts. Sounds pretty great. Unless it's this very specific scenario where you find yourself in a Rocket League game, it's not what you want to see. Benedictine, they've had their opportunities, but there's another close, and there's another on. 3-0, not lean at all. It's a very gluttonous scoreline it's turning into.
Here's the dish from Firm, and right in front for Lean, a relatively easy goal, and Benedictine honestly just caught out and completely outsped by this Ohio Northern squad so far. And a 3-0 lead that they are fighting with. Benedictine will win the kickoff. Firm will go back on defense. Touch in front of the box, and an opportunity for Jenny's denied by STN. There's a demo in the net as well. Nice. That will leave it completely open, and McDaddy will score the first goal for Benedictine.
Yeah, so it's not the first attack that's the problem, it's the second, because there's a demo on the way out. Lean's already moved out to get boost. In steps McDaddy, he's da-da-da-da-da. Not sponsored by them, but he is certainly loving it, and that is at least a 2-point lead now for Ohio Northern. They've been able to bring them back within that 1:50. If they can keep this up, then there's certainly a tiebreaker to be found.
There'll be Cathedral looking to get that tiebreaker at least a little bit closer to them with their their second goal. Nice. They won't find it there. This one is a little bit off target. But Benedictine at least building a little bit of pressure here for really the first time all game. The last goal that they had was really just one touch and one goal. This has been more of a sustained pressure, and it pays off as McDaddy will find the second goal.
Let's see if I can find many more food puns. Oh my goodness, he's an eggs Benedictine poacher. That's my analysis. It was a really nice shot, 3-2.
Yeah, that's one way to say it. You know, I was actually just talking about eggs Benedict with someone the other day.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so now I'm just going to think about that for the rest of my life. And Benedictine is going to think about how much they need to get that third goal here in the last minute and 10 seconds of this game. And they've got that sustained pressure again, doing a very good job locking down Ohio Northern into their own half. This was a backboard. There's a bump as well. Lean won't get it. An aggressive third play. STN will clear this one out down the right-hand side. Firm going to look at an open net. It's going to be Lean who ends up scoring the goal and extending the lead back to 2.
Who screams in here? Was that McDaddy? No, it's Cathedral. Cathedral, you sold yourself far too short, $1. Come on. You're running into the challenge. If you win it, sure, you're the only one that can have a follow-up shot. If you miss, well, that happens. And you find Ohio Northern going not just 2 points up, but a further 3 points up because the kickoff completely devolves into yet another defensive mishap. Benedictine architects of their own downfall.
Yeah, and that's a hat-trick goal as well for Lean, so congrats to them, and take your hats off, ladies and gents, as that'll be a third goal for them, and Ohio Northern extending this lead up to 3 goals on their kickoff play. Looking for another one to add off of a kickoff play, but this time Benedictine is able to shut it down. They'll double commit offensively down that right-hand side. Eventually, we'll be able to regain a bit of possession here. Jenny just waiting this one out, trying to get a shot on target, and the solo play from Jenny. We got Benedictine within 2.
Are they Red Jenny because they are something of a hero to the poor, or are they Red Jenny because there's some red mist in there? Well, it might have been a combination of the two, certainly helping out a squad that's pretty porous in defense. Maybe just a little bit angry that they have conceded so many. Some individual brilliance, and oh my word, Cathedral makes up for their error earlier on. 1 goal game, 30 seconds left. Which way is it going to flop next?
Ohio Northern making what I consider one of the cardinal sins of Rocket League. When you are on kickoff and the last one back, you go for that corner boost. The ideal scenario, especially this late in the game, that you are winning, turn back to your own net and make sure you're in a good position to play defense. They don't do it there. They get scored on. They regain possession on this kickoff. Jenny will take it away, and Benedictine is awfully close to getting something to happen. Here goes Jenny on the attack, and that one they won't be able to put home.
Oh,
the follow-up shot is going to be off and away, and a huge missed opportunity, Relic.
That was it. That was it. They had 2 bites of the cherry and somehow managed to miss both. Still another chance here. Lean forced a bit off the backboard, hits the floor before a player can get there. ONU, OMG. That was a very, very lucky getaway, and Benedictine showing that when they do flex their muscles, dangerous team to deal with. Watch out for them. Spicy in game number 2, potentially.
Yeah, I feel like we're just watching what we saw in that first series all over again here, which is that final minute of the game is like the only minute that needs to be played. Like, we may as well forget about the other 4 minutes of the game, just play that last minute like your life depends on it, and then we'll see what happens in the series after that, because that's when Benedictine really turned it up. They got a solid goal, they got a kickoff goal right after, and then they had that final opportunity for Jenny, narrowly missing a game-tying goal with about 15 seconds left on the clock. Just unfortunate for them, but that's a big momentum builder, right? Going into this game number 2 versus the ONU squad is now you know that you can get those goals in. Just got to get them in a little bit sooner.
It's a strange thing to say, given how many mistakes Benedictine made, but I feel that they're the better team. At least on the basis of game number 1, I think that their overall passing plays and their directness towards net was a strategy that paid off time and time again. But mistakes in defense obviously costing them a lot of goals against them, and then when the time to clutch up arrived, the clutch was not there to be found. Someone had ripped it out and thrown it out the car window. So Benedictine, there's not too much to be too worried about going into game number 2, as long as they recognize the necessity to shore up the defenses a little bit. It doesn't matter if you score 5 if the opposition scores 6.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. I mean, the key to winning a game, of course, is scoring more goals than the opposition, and Benedictine will look to do that here in game number 2 of the series. The ball just gets a little bit too out past a couple different times there, and that time the infield pass will go right to Jenny. The highlight reel continues for them as they will get Benedictine their first lead.
It's such a cute pass off to Jenny as well from McDaddy. People are thinking that they're going to go hard into the middle. It wasn't a great clearance in the first place, but really nice, subtle handoff effectively. Sets up Jenny perfectly. Rip it into the net, and you should find yourself with a goal. That's exactly what's happened. 1-0.
This one now with 4:15 on the clock. Ohio Northern now pressing forward, and there's a big beat. It's Cathedral versus 2 different defenders from Ohio Northern, and they will win that one big time, all the way to the back wall. A nice pass from Lean, looking for a teammate. It is denied. Cleared from the box by Cathedral. Going up the wall, looking for an infield pass, not going to find it. A bit of a whifty there, and the ball will leak out. Now Benedictine will have an opportunity to come back on the attack if they're able to win this 50 with Lean. That's exactly what they do, but eventually Firm will get the save.
Now, my problem with Ohio Northern early doors is that they're almost showing a bit too much respect to Benedictine. Rather than predicting those potential mistakes, they're trying to predict that they will eventually score them. Looks like they got the memo as I was speaking about it, straight onto their backs. Hits the woodwork, unlucky. Great follow-up shot, McDaddy with the feels bad backflip, tie game.
Yeah, you know, sometimes it feels like we're just talking to the players in real time and like telling, hey, just do this one thing, and then, you know.
They all listen to the broadcast.
Yeah, I know, and they should, too. It's a darn good broadcast, if I do say so myself.
That's very true, yes.
A pretty solid series, the first one that we had, and the second series off to a great start as well. Ohio Northern up 1-0 at the moment in the series. Tie ball game, though, between the two. Great shot here by Cathedral. We turned away by SDN right in front of the net.
Lean, looking for that SDN connection, finds it. Sniped wide, and a double miss from Benedictine. The third's finally going to come through for them. Return to sender from STN, up high, to be chased down by Firm. Daddy on the scene, underneath Firm, finds the backboard, lying in wait. Lean, Cathedral on the floor, takes it back up into the air, got some boost to use, hits that backboard nicely. Where's the follow-up? The answer's nowhere, a little bit too cautious, Benedictine, as Ohio Northern on the return track.
Yeah, that's kind of a play I expect to see, like, in an overtime, where that great pass happens and then no one ends up going for the shot. I think Benedictine had an opportunity to be a little bit more aggressive there offensively, and unfortunately for them, they do not find it. This one is going to be Lean on target, but Jenny will clear it away, and I think, like, the longer that I watch this Benedictine squad, I'm kind of in the same boat as you, where I do think that they might be the more talented, more mechanical team, but they just got to shore that up into a little bit of cohesion on both sides of the ball. If they're able to do that, surely this is going to be a game that'll go in their favor.
Yeah, because Ohio Northern was centimeters away just 30 seconds ago from taking the lead once again in a game. Firm, that's straight back towards net. That's not a great starting position, but well read off the backboard. That's a free net going sideways, STN. Miscommunication in the back once again. McDaddy demoed, and Ohio capitalized beforehand. That's a nice pass in field. Enough from Cathedral. Shot again wide, and there's so many warning signs. You'd swear it's a hazardous area.
A tripping hazard, if you will. Got him. Got to use that one on broadcast. First time ever. Glad you were all here to see it. It's going to be a pass out to STN, who's going to find Firm in the air, and that one will not go. We don't come in try to clean that one up as well. That one won't go, but eventually STN is going to get there. They'll send one home, and Ohio Northern with a 2-1 lead.
Sure is a tripping area because Benedictine stumbling over each other time after time after time again. And STN's actually been quite quiet for the last couple of minutes in game number one, for the opening couple of minutes in game number two, after such a bombastic opening first minute from Ohio Northern. Nice to see him on the score sheet, and this is well deserved from Ohio Northern. That even more deserved. So what a pass, what a finish.
Yeah, great job here by Ohio Northern to just get this game back under control for themselves and not allow Benedictine to get too close. A perfect pass, an absolute pinpoint perfection of the placement of that shot to get that 3-1 lead. But it's not comfortable for Ohio Northern. We've already seen what Kane did in the last minute. Benedictine has done it in the last minute as well. And here they go with a minute 10 and a 2-goal deficit.
Peachy, but not rosy for Ohio Northern. As SCN, another whiff off the wall. Clearance is a problem for both teams, actually. Lean able to find a gap in the storm to make its way out. Nice interjection once again. STN, lovely. Backboard, not so lovely. Should have been on target. We can forgive this one as there's 40 seconds left to play in game number two. And Ohio Northern just looking to lock this one down. A fourth goal and it's shortly over. And again, just keep your hatchets down and ensure that Benedictine don't score themselves. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, exactly. Just keep the ball away from them as long as you can. Lean kind of struggling with that one. It will come in front of the net, but Firm will end up getting the touch to collect and throw this one into the opposite corner, buying a little bit more time. All Ohio Northern has to do is just park the bus and wait. Eventually, the kids will get out of school, and you'll be able to get on with your merry day from the field trip here in game number two. Save in front of the net here by Jenny to stop Ohio Northern from getting another one, though. Go in transition with 5 seconds left. It is not going to matter all that much. There's a redirect off the backboard on the ground. ONU take a confident second game victory.
If Benedictine was a battery, they would have been sent in for servicing because that lifespan was far too short. Great first minute. and thereafter not much to write home about. Really, I mean, we talked about those warning shots. So many of them, from the blue team, and they deserved those follow-up goals. They deserved the win, and it was handsome in the end as well. I'm really worried about Benedictine. For as much as they look good in patches, their overall consistency is really shoddy, and especially once again in defense, too many goals let in. If you're not going to be scoring like you did there in game number 1, the least you can do is try and keep a clean sheet and at least make your opponents work for it.
Right, and from having an opportunity, to play kind of in the land of inconsistency of Rocket League that is Champ 2, I think that what we're kind of seeing out of Benedictine is something where when you have 3 individually talented players, it can be sometimes very difficult to get them to work as a unit and to make the plays happen. And that's why you see those flashes of brilliance compared with those lapses. You see both of them from Benedictine because they do have the talented players. They do have the mechanics to do lots of great things. They've had a couple great passes as well. It's just about that consistency. If they nail it down a little bit more, it's a team to watch out for. But for right now, the thing to watch out for is Ohio Northern has a 2-0 lead in the series.
I mean, look, if we look at the very top of collegiate Rocket League, right? CRL. You get so many RLCS caliber players walking through those doors. It doesn't guarantee success. Unless you have good synergy as a team, you're not going to find series wins, maybe individual game wins, but not series wins. And I'm right on board with you. I think Benedictine playing as 3 individuals, not as a team, and when on paper this is the team that should be winning, Ohio Northern, I guess, can consider themselves lucky, but also be proud of yourselves. You are looking like the better team. McDaddy, all on their own, again, doesn't find the finish. Ooh. There's another follow-up. And once again, you found 2 great plays, and there's no goal to show for it. These are the moments where you simply have to score.
Yeah, and not only that, but here's a pretty solid counterattack from Ohio Northern as they settle the ball down in the corner. Jenny will be there for Benedictine, but they're going to get 50 by Firm. Lean trying to get out of the way, and they'll get an opportunity here to play this one. And I like this approach here from Ohio Northern, slowing the pace of play down, getting that control over the ball, forcing Benedictine to make solid defensive rotations and not give them the opportunity to show the mechanics that they have. 3:30 to go. We're still 0-0, but an infield pass to Lean. Maybe just some offense here for Ohio Northern. It'll end up being Jenny for Benedictine to get things started from the right side.
I mean, hey, we shouldn't be too critical. What was the first thing that we were saying that you should do? Keep the clean sheet. Make your opponents work for it. And that, at the very least, is what Benedictine are doing. Ohio Northern maybe should be 1-0 up, but they're not. And that is what we have to walk away with as the analysis point. Benedictine looking to restart their attacking from the midfield line. Closed down. Here goes Firm. Trying to use the really nasty area between backboard and floor. Doesn't come off as Benedictine launching a counterattack of their own. That's on target, and it's going to be the 1-0 lead that Benedictine was seeking.
All right, that'll just float on into the net here, and it's a great read here by McDaddy just to get there in time and gets the best bounce they could ever have imagined off of the apron to let that one go into the net. Benedictine in the lead here. Now just has to find a way to pin Ohio Northern back. Do not let them get back into this game. It seems to be a team that when it rains, it pours. We saw in game number 1, Ohio Northern was able to put 3 in pretty quickly, and a 1-0 lead is not going to hold up to a 3-goal counterattack.
Starting from the back once again, and straight into orange hands. McDaddy with the 180, but it's closed off. Firm, not able to read this one. Cathedral is able to follow up. STN, not able to perform the same feat for his team. Ohio Northern misfiring, and that not great. Jenny does so well to close it down, and Ohio Northern deal with it. They simply had to. Scrappy. A little bit all over the place, both teams now, and that is going to benefit Benedictine massively.
Yeah, it really is. The more opportunity is, again, that you give Benedictine to show off what they can do individually, the better that team is going to look. Ohio Northern starting to get into their face a little bit as they go for these clears, and now it's going to be Jenny in a one-on-one situation. They're going to win the 50. This one's floating in front of the net. Lean will get onto the backboard. Cathedral will read it. They'll drop it down, hoping that a teammate's going to get there for a shot. They'll back off here. Double commit by Ohio Northern, and now they're going around. Here we go. This one settled down here for OSTN, and that one is going to go wide as well. 90 seconds left to go. Benedictine still holding on to the lead.
Slowing it down as well, Benedictine. I like that. I like that a lot, but there is a demo on Jenny. A chance for Ohio Northern to make the power play. Sideways, infield, up. STN shoots! Scores! Tie game!
Yeah, there it is. Ohio Northern just settle that one down again, just waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And it's a 3-person passing play yet again where they get that one ready to go from the back wall. You find the person who's there to cross it in front of the net. The shooter comes in, scores the goal. Ohio Northern now ties it up with Benedictine. Benedictine with an immediate answer on the kickoff, but it's saved by Firm just in time. How will this one go? Eventually cleared by STN. Great play there from Ohio Northern defensively.
60 seconds left. Ohio Northern, another power play, another demo. They're changing things up on the fly, not in between games, but internally. Important point for Benedictine. It would be their first of the series. Important point for Ohio Northern. They'd be on to match point down the other side, looking for Lean. McDaddy steps in the way, picks up the 100 boost, makes a nuisance of himself. Ball lost. Jenny, pickpocketed. Defense in place. Demo on Jenny once again. Ohio Northern with the explosives out, looking to fully play disruption. Ball breaks away, but anytime it does, it's straight back into Northern hands.
Yeah, except for this one right here, goes right back to Benedictine. And they will put one on target. It will not turn into a goal. And now STN will go the other way. Cathedral pumps it up into the air as we hit 10 seconds left to go in this matchup. It's a one-on-one opportunity. Firm slows it down, pops it over one, gets it over a second. The air dribble, will they have it? Yes, they will! Firm will send it home with 7 seconds left to go.
Best goal of the evening you are going to see. Pop-up beats 1. Aerial prowess beats 2. The assist from Lean beats number 3. Ohio Northern take the lead. 7 seconds left.
Will they be able to hold on to get this victory? Has to get one out. Benedictine's last opportunity crossed out in front of the net. Lean is not going to be able to spike it. It'll leak back out to midfield. Boom the other way. The reception's going to be there, and ONU is going to get a last-second thrilling win here in game number 3. And as you said, really, they are on to match point, and they're looking to take this 4-game sweep.
How about them apples, though? What a goal to go ahead. I mean, individual brilliance from Firm. Able to suss out the running paths of 2 defenders, but that goal would never have happened without the communication and the strafing run across the goal to get, at the very least, a bump on the goalkeeper. From there on out, it's just about hitting the target. And when your ball is directly in front of you, that's the easiest shot you're going to make all day. So I'm so impressed with Ohio Northern. Coming from behind as well. 1-0 down to get back to 2-1. I mean, this could very well go the way of a sweep.
Yeah, and if the best that Benedictine is going to have to offer is bringing this team to the brink and losing in the last 9 seconds, I don't think there's going to be quite enough to get over the hump that ONU is putting up. It's not a team that's looking to me like they are going to have that option to reverse sweep. I could definitely see Benue getting a game here, making that move, putting themselves in solid position to take at least one victory away from ONU, but the unit, the play that we have seen from Ohio Northern has just been too much. It's been too strong. It's been too good at the moment. Benedictine has a lot on their plate to get a victory here.
And you can definitely see it's 2 teams with 2 different sets of fortunes from week number 1. You got one team now 3-0 up. I mean, they won their first series in week number 1. And you got the other team that lost their first series in week number 1. And it looks like a team that's discordant, a team that's got plenty of potential and arguably should be doing better in this series. They, for my money, should have 1 game, maybe 2, but already first seconds of game number 4, and they look most likely to go behind again.
Yeah, a couple of miracle saves. Yeah, a couple of miracle saves is really all that saved Benedictine from getting scored on at about 4:52. Instead, they get scored on at 4:41 as the net is wide open, except for an Ohio Northern player. It's the only person there just catching Benedictine completely on their heels. The speed from Ohio Northern just too much right now.
Kickoff won by Firm into Benedictine hands, I should say, my apologies. Almost finds a double tap, is going to find the Shadow Strike. Well, there is certainly a way to restore faith to your fans. 1-1, and we're back to square one.
Yeah, and a great overall play here by Cathedral to just wait for someone to miss. This is something you're going to hear from coaches all across Rocket League. Just let your opponents do the work for you. Let them go for the ball and not hit it, and then just sit in a position where after they're done screwing up whatever play it is that they're going to do, capitalize on it. That's exactly what Benedictine do here. And then, of course, going the other way, Ohio Northern says, I am not satisfied with another tie ball game. Let's score a second goal because we don't want to lose. We want to get this sweep done and over with.
I feel for you, Benedictine fans. You get the ray of hope, and then it is just taken away. It's almost like an eclipse every minute at this stage. Every ray of light that Benedictine show is... Well, you know what? They might still find a goal. Let's hold that thought, shall we? Down and away from Ohio Northern. Double commit as well. That's going to fall to Jenny. Pops it up but too far wide. And it's poor touch after poor pass, after poor defensive rotation. Benedictine, so much hypothetical potential, but so many mistakes. That said, no mistake there. Bang on target, 2-2.
Yeah, this is a perfectly executed play as Cathedral baits STN into the position they want them to be and flicks it up tall for Mac Daddy, who's just waiting for the ball to arrive. They don't even have to communicate the fact that that's where the ball was going. They're well aware of where that flick is going to end up, and they put a powerful shot into the net here for Benedictine, who now ties it up at 2 apiece, and Jenny will start it the other way. It's going to be a demo on Lean all the way back to Cathedral. We'll see that offensive Benedictine start all over with Cathedral.
It's been like trying to put together a Lego kit without the instructions. Well, it's time to get out the paper manual, kids, because you need to learn, and you need to learn fast. Save away by Firm. Infield and outfield. Jenny, the challenge, that's up. Set up beautifully for Mac Daddy. Got boost to use as well. Miscontrols, but that's almost on target. And away by Firm. Very hairy moment for Ohio Northern. Get away with it.
Oh, and they're gonna
go
my
word, no
defense,
way.
And Firm is just too strong. Just sitting in the middle of the field, waiting for this one to happen as they chase it down. Lean gets ahead of him, and Jenny's touch. It didn't matter where Jenny touched that one. Firm was scoring that one all day.
I can't be too harsh on Benedictine on that one. The ball has a mind of its own sometimes, and physics has determined yonder in this particular scenario. A real shame there. This might also be a real shame. Tickles the crossbar. Out and away. They need, as I say, to get things together, Benedictine. Looking better in game number 4, sorry. But needs to be even better still. Close angle and wide and away. Ohio Northern clear their lines yet again.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that can be an absolute momentum killer for a team when you get that look and do not end up converting on a great fake here by Cathedral. But the shot coming in from Mac Daddy is saved by Firm, and now it's going to be an early challenge here from Jenny. This to do anything in their power to get that ball away from the Ohio Northern squad. None of it is going to work. Cathedral reading this one off the ceiling. That shot is wide of the target. Lean's going to be there, but now the net is free, and it's cleared out anyway, and Ohio Northern stands tall on D.
I like the idea of long-range shots. I think all too often in the current meta of Rocket League, everyone's expecting the flip reset. Everyone's expecting the follow. And nobody's expecting the hard shot with accuracy. Benedictine, I don't mind that one bit. However, score remains the same. 3-2. 2 minutes left on the clock. It ticks by now. STN away. And is there a counterattack in Benedictine now? They follow this up. A miss. Infield, Lean, and away into orange hands once again. A lovely follow-up. That's on target. That's on net. And that's in the net. 4-2. Benedictine falling apart again.
Yeah, it's an awfully close save here as well. I mean, Cathedral doing everything in their power to get back, and they're just stuck with 0 booze. They don't have the ability to go grab that corner, to have anything in the tank, to try to get them in front of that ball any faster. And unfortunately, the free flip is not enough. Benedictine will win the kickoff and try to get themselves back within 1 underneath 2 minutes left to play. There's the demo. There's the infield pass. It's read out perfectly by STN. And that one, I mean, honestly, quite a bit telegraphed. It's pretty easy to read for Ohio Northern as we hit the last 90.
Yeah, you could tell that they're all just thinking a little bit too much, Benedictine, and it showed there in Cathedral's choreography, really. Rather than front flipping and prioritizing getting to the danger zone first and potentially getting it off the woodwork, maybe risking an own goal, prioritized position doesn't work that way. You need to get to the ball first rather than getting behind the ball first. There is no luxury here, and there is no luxury in a 3-goal deficit. Lovely placement from STN. Jenny prevented, Goomba stomped, and that is a 5-2 scoreline now. 1-1-1 on the clock, and that might be all she wrote for the Benedictine.
It's real unfortunate there for Jenny as well. Just, I mean, one versus everything. Not a whole lot of opportunities there to really make any good plays. Saved the initial shot. Got very close to making another one as well, but unfortunately the opponent just kind of took him out of it. Ohio Northern awfully feeling very comfortable right now. It's a bit of a triple commit. It'll go around the other way in front. It's going to be Firm on the pass. It's going to be STN with the shot and the goal. They extend the lead now to 4.
Yeah, the ground has given way, and the snow is on its way. Avalanche 6-2, and Ohio Northern, if I had a hat, I would doff it to you. An excellent performance all round, even in the face of adversity. Just a team that never says die, and that will bode very well as the league season continues on, Trippin. For Benedictine, I think the only reason that we'd be so harsh on them is because we see the potential there. This is a team that can definitely do better. This is a team that will get better as the season progresses. Maybe just a little too early in the season for the glue to stick.
Well, that's the thing. We're very early in the season. This is only the second week, so there is plenty of time, by all means, to get back into this one for Benedictine. And again, like we said in that first series, lots of learning opportunities for the squad as well. We can see exactly where this team is going. We see those flashes of brilliance. We know that this is going to be a team probably down the stretch to watch out for. An unfortunate here performance from them as they will clear this one out. It'll hit the ground, and ONU will complete the sweep over Benedictine and move up to 2-0 in this young season.
Complete performance. And most importantly, the latent prophecy has been dismissed. No more Game 7s. You can go to bed safe in the knowledge that you've just watched the complete opposite of a best of 7 going the distance. And I think let's maybe look on the positive side with Benedictine. Inconsistent, yes, but lots of really promising moments. And there's no doubt that all 3 of these players on their own, very talented. Some roster moves in RLCS don't work because the team just doesn't gel. These guys are stuck with each other for a full season. Either it doesn't work for the entire season or they learn how to make it work. How do they make it work, Trippin?
I mean, honestly, I think just slowing down just a tiny bit. I think that when you have very mechanical, very skilled players, the tendency, I think, at this skill level is to maybe try to go a little bit too quickly. And sometimes when you go for some of these faster plays, the rest of the team isn't ready to move with you, or they will all move up at the same time because they all see the same thing and all think the same thing. And when that happens, that's when you end up in those awkward situations. That's where those counterattacks are going to come in and absolutely crush you. And like we saw a great play from Firm, from ONU. They stopped up at midfield, popped it over 1, air dribbled it over 2 more. That's the kind of play that Benedictine can absolutely pull off if they're able to slow down just a tad.
Well, Ohio Northern are cooling off. Hopefully, we're going to grab one of their players, or indeed the coach, to interview as we slow down on this broadcast as well. Being a hectic day of action, 2 different sides of the Rocket League coin, a best of 7 going the distance, a sweep. We'll be talking to someone from Ohio Northern after this.
Right away, Relic, we are seeing what I would consider a drastic change in pace from our first series and our first goal. It will go in.
The vision of himself, not Jenny, with a big save, big clearance from Jenny once again, as that goes all the way back to Firm, helps it on towards the backboard, lean, backboard once again, Shadow Strike, clinical, 2-0.
The last goal that they had was really just 1 touch and 1 goal. This has been more of a sustained pressure. There's a bump as well. Lean won't get it. An aggressive third play. STN will clear this one out down the right-hand side. Firm going to look at an open net. It's going to be Lean who ends up scoring the goal and extending side. Eventually, we'll be able to regain a bit of possession here. Jenny just waiting this one out, trying to get a shot on target, and the solo play from Jenny.
Pretty porous in defense. Maybe just a little bit angry that they have conceded so many. Some individual brilliance, and oh my word, Cathedral makes up for their error.
2 of the series. The ball just gets a little bit too out past a couple different times there, and that time the infield pass will go right to Jenny. The highlight reel continues.
Too much respect to Benedictine. Rather than predicting those potential mistakes, They're trying to predict that they will eventually score them. Looks like
a tripping hazard, if you will. Got him. Got to use that one on broadcast. First time ever. Glad you were all here to see it. It's going to be a pass out to STN, who's going to find Firm in the air, and that one will not go. We don't come in try to clean that one up as well. That one won't go, but eventually STN is going to
into Benedictine hands, I should say, my apologies. Almost finds the double tap, is going to find the Shadow Strike. Well, there is certainly a way to restore
position where after they're done screwing up whatever play it is that they're going to do, capitalize on it. That's exactly what Benedictine do here. And then, of course, going the other way, Ohio Northern says,
offensive rotation. Benedictine, so much hypothetical potential, but so many mistakes. That said, no mistake there, bang on target. Way by Firm. Very hairy moment for Ohio Northern, get away with it.
Oh, and they're gonna
oh my word, no
defense,
way.
And Firm is just too strong.
Hey guys, K-Tad here, and welcome back to another ECAC Top Plays of the Week video. Now, normally I know we like to switch the hosts out every week, and I know there's a roster that we want to bring up to you guys, and don't worry, we've got that coming with some returning faces from last season, as well as hopefully some new ones this time out. But again, you guys got me for one more week. It'll be okay. I'll see you guys at the end anyways. Now, in any case, as per the usual, we've got a bunch of incredible collegiate esports action coming at you with some of the coverage brought to you in partnership by Esports U. So, huge shout out to them. But, I know you guys don't want to hear me talk about it anymore. It's okay. Let's just jump straight into the action. Here you go. Starting us off this week, we've got Gorilla as he power slams the ball into the net.
Don't have a goal to show for it. It means almost nothing, especially when Grand Valley has a response like that. Gorilla solo play, and how do they get this with power?
At number 7, it's a play of the game from Shiz that has him jumping fearlessly into the enemy team to secure the second map for Savannah College.
So rare to see these, especially in a map like this one, where there's a lot of potential opportunities, but that means willing to make a complete change if necessary, and we didn't really see that for the side effect.
Shh. We've got to be a bit sneaky here as Matthew's got the huge flank to get the 3K and secure the round.
That's a massive frag. They know Jet is heaven. Smokes are going to come down. Bomb is down in that corner of heaven. And now Nova's in a very tricky situation. She's going to ult out. Doesn't have a great amount of visibility as she plays back now. Oh, Matthew with a 3K. That round itself was on the brink of defeat for LC.
Don't get turned around here as his Spaniard pulls the will over Michael's eyes to send him right off the stage.
Oh, this is a very dangerous opportunity here. We're gonna see.
Looking for the guard, a beautiful side smash, and I mean, no, what a beautiful reflector! Stopping the recovery from being able to come back on, forcing this into one stock, and we've seen what his
In our top half, it's Mr. Nene as he whips and does the dance with 3 different members of LIU to clutch up the round.
He's the last alive, granted. He's got a Vandal. He makes the trade. Now a one-on-one. Can he find it? Doesn't have the intel. If he does heaven, he might understand that he's hell. First shock dart will come out. He knows he's there now. First shot's coming out. He still doesn't have all the intel. He looks to peek.
He gets the kill.
Third kill, Mr. Nene. Gonna close out that round for LC.
Welcome back here to Esports U to Relic and Trippin. We've just watched a very firm victory from Ohio Northern. A 4-0 sweep, as firm as it could get. Brilliant. Oh, segue. We got ourselves Firm, part of that wonderful trio that led it all the way. Trippin, I'll let you kick off the question.
Yeah, welcome, Firm. I see you in the esports center there at ONU. Congrats to you and the team. And the first thing I gotta talk about is that air dribble play from yourself. Pop it over a couple of teammates. What's going through there? Like, how do you have that awareness to just slow that play down and just beat literally everyone?
Well, actually in the comms, I saw that I had the opportunity for the solo. So I called him. I said, I'm going to fake the first one. So I kind of slow it down. I go around the first one. And then I go up. I see I only have 1 to beat. Teammate calls for the bump. I'm trying to go around him, but he bumps him out, so it didn't matter anyways. And so it kind of just worked out. I called it and I hit it. So
Absolutely love to
Simple,
see that.
simple. I mean, as simple as that, right? And I'm presuming that all three of you are there in the center together, right? And so, how much of an advantage is it to have such a great facility to be able to just get together, hang out in, and not just, of course, play on the main stage like this, but also to just scrim together and hang out.
it's incredible, honestly. I think if you don't have the center, or like even if you don't have the center, but if you're not together and you're not playing together, you're at a disadvantage than if you are playing together. I think being there with the teammates and being able to have that same energy and being able to feed off of one another and just really the comms are a lot better. Just really the energy is so much better that it's unmatched.
Yeah, it really is. Honestly, I mean, you can tell how much of a difference it makes on the pitch as well. One thing I do want to ask though is actually about Benedictine themselves. We said on the broadcast multiple times, this is a team that has three incredibly mechanical players, but seem to miss a couple of really solid opportunities. Is that what you saw on the pitch as well? Did you see three absolutely nutty mechanical players and you had to find a way to stop them?
Yeah, I think they were all really solid together. Obviously there was a few misplays. I think you could say that on both sides, but once we got into it, we kind of saw the speed. We were like, all right, let's play this at our own pace. So we kind of took them to our pace instead of letting them take us to their pace. And I think that was really helpful in getting us the win tonight.
It's lovely to hear you staying humble. You're up 2-0 in the league and well deserved as well. Firm, you and the rest of the team enjoy the rest of your evening, good sir.
All right, thank you. You guys too.
Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you very much. And that brings to an end our wonderful broadcast trip in two very different series, but four teams that can all go away, win or lose, and lots to look back on and lots of positives to take forward into week number 3.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all four teams that we saw on the broadcast today have a lot of things, going well for them. A couple things that they need to work on going into that week number 3. But solid teams all around, great performances, a phenomenal 7-game series to open up the evening. We see that sweep there, and with that interview with Firm in the Esports Center at ONU. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I wish that was a thing in college when I was in school many, many moons ago. Just because it's just so darn cool to see what these programs are putting into and how much they're investing into esports for their students. And I just gotta keep throwing this out there every chance that I get. If you happen to be an educator of any sort, please, if you do not have an esports program, just make one happen. It is the best thing you could possibly do for your students. So just make it work.
Amen to that. The industry is real, believe it. And unfortunately, a reality is that our broadcast comes to an end. So thank you very much, Trippin, for your company this evening. A big thank you, of course, to the wonderful Leighton on production today. Many more weeks of the ECAC yet to come, and plenty more to come here on Esports U and Esports U2 as well. Be sure to watch out on all the socials. Lots of games to enjoy. No less Rocket League, of course. So thank you very much for your time, friends. I've just been Relic, and from all of us here, it's a very warm goodbye.
Well, my name is Darian Wheeler. I'm a junior at Cornell College, and I play for the Overwatch and Smash Ultimate team there. I also play football, and I enjoy playing Ultimate Frisbee as well.
Wow, how do you have time for all that?
I have no idea.
You just gotta prioritize, right?
Yeah.
So, how long have you been playing Overwatch and Smash? You said.
Overwatch, I started playing the summer before I came to Cornell, which was in 2019. And since then, I've gone from bronze to master's ranking just by being on the team. And Smash, I started when the game first came out, but I haven't played the game competitively until around the end of last year.
And what made you want to start competing?
At the time, our esports coach, we just started getting into like big tournaments and stuff. And so we went to a tournament where one of the PGR, one of the top 50 players in the world, was appearing, and we played him, and it was not pretty. It was, we got stomped into the dirt. And so that I didn't like that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna play better, and I'm gonna figure out how to beat someone like that, because that that was not fun.
And what have you done to get better at the game? Like, what kind of strategies do you use?
We have weekly practices. We have Monday, Thursday, and Friday. We practice. I play by myself, of course. I go to tournaments, and from these tournaments against good players, I take the film that I get, and I VOD review it, learn what I could have done better, um, and figure out things like positioning, usage of abilities, that type of thing.
So, what do you think about your team? How does it feel to be a part of an esports team? And do you guys all get along? Are you guys friends?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. We like if we're all in the room together, we're just joking around. Which sometimes makes it hard to practice because it's very hard. It's hard to get serious when it's really goofy like that. But I love being on the team. It's like one of the reasons I stayed on the esports team, despite because we had a director change. Despite the director change was because I just love the team.
That's really good. You guys support each other and all that. That's awesome. You said you've gone to competitions and stuff. Well, how often do you think you game a week? How many hours do you think you play a week?
Maybe over 24, maybe 30 hours. It's a lot of time.
You play Smash and Overwatch. Which one do you like better and why?
I like Smash better. One, fighting games have always been my thing before shooters, so that's part of it. And I'm much better at Smash than I am at Overwatch. Overwatch is more of a team-based game, so your individual performance matters a lot less. But Smash, everything that you do, it's all on you, so you can always improve on that.
And I know you've been to competitions and stuff before, but do you still get nervous when you're about to compete, or are you pretty confident?
Oh man. Yeah, I get nervous still. It depends though. I usually have music playing, calm my nerves, but especially if I'm going against a player who I know is very high ranked, very well known, very good. In tense situations, I just get nervous, and it just doesn't go well if that happens. But yeah, I still get nervous.
Yeah, I think that's natural though. Are there any specific teams or schools that your team kind of watches out for or that you really want to beat?
Iowa State, their team is crazy. So they have most of the top ranking players in Iowa. So those guys they have a big target on their backs.
Can you tell me a little bit about what you think about CECC and do you think your team will go to Atlanta?
Currently, our team we're going over a massive overhaul because we're down a lot of players due to transfers and other things, but it's still possible. I think we can do it.
Okay, yeah, we hope to see you there. um, Backtracking a little bit, what are you studying in school? What's your major?
Biochemistry.
Okay. Jeez, you do it all. What the heck? What do you plan to do with biochemistry? And do you ever see any overlap between what you're learning in school and esports?
My initial plans were to possibly go into medicine, but I'm leaning more towards biochemical research. So I don't know if that overlaps somehow, but if it can, that'd be great.
Would you ever want to be an esports coach?
Of course, it's so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, when you're not doing medicine and you find time between football and the ultimate frisbee, maybe you can